Oh dear, I think I know what this is. You see, Stan, as you get older, things that you used to like start looking and sounding like shit. And things that seemed shitty as a child don't seem as shitty. With you, somehow the wires have gotten crossed and everything looks and sounds like shit to you. It's a condition called being a cynical asshole.
Oh no.
Yes. And there's no known cure, I'm afraid. Everything just seems shitty and everyone starts to seem shitty and everything they say just starts...
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Yes, Mr. Sherman, everything stinks.
How dare you?
Why? He always does this. Just to rub it in my face. I can't even get out of this thing.
What? You got a Rancor too now?
His is bigger.
What?
Yes.
Yours has like big crazy horns and shit.
No, his is the cantina. His is the cantina.
Oh my god.
Edition.
Oh my god.
Listen, he has spikes. Listen, I'm not grateful. I'm very grateful for the adopted. He's got spikes. Look at him. Well, now he won't stop. See, he plays this game. Like I try to catch up to him, and then he just runs away. Stop running.
No, my brother is just the Tard Wrangler of the two of us. He has to lead us around and be like, come on, come.
Do you see his spikes? They're orange.
Yes, they are. Quite nifty. And yours has big, gnarly horns. What are you crying about?
No, his are orange.
No, I get that he has the like spikes around his back and stuff that are orange and everything, but you got big gnarly horns on the freaking head of the Rancor you got. Pretty cool.
No, his are orange.
Did you want what you wanted orange, an orange spiked Rancor? Would that have made you feel a little better?
No. Where are we going? I'm hungry. There's stuff at the gas station.
Own your truth. You know, it was difficult. It was at first. I mean, you just cornered me like that and everything, but you know, it's a little liberating now to know I can like Star Wars in more ways than I ever imagined. Dave Filoni is the savior of Star Wars. KK is doing an amazing job. The people out there are just blind and can't see it. So yes, thank you. I can stop lying now.
Are you sure? Damn, that's not good.
When you get, instead of just like trying to slap something out like the Star Wars experience and crap, but when you have, I'm sorry, it's true though. It's like
I just got back from. Oh, I just died.
I just watched that. It was hilarious.
How do I get back up there?
1 week later.
I don't know what I was doing, but from that angle, I just jumped.
You just walked right off the cliff. It was hilarious.
I don't know what I was doing, but I was like, that's funny. I was just like, do, and I was like over here, and I was like, woo. Oh, see, you thought I was gonna do it.
And he did it. All right.
Oh,
I missed it.
I was fully. I didn't know how to do it. I was just messing around.
Yeah, you.
W.
Oh, that was gold. That was. Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sith, number 145. So pumped. Let's go. I'm your host, the Fractured Filter, with you as always. And with me, as always, my host, my friend, my compatriot, and all the madness in the world, Jay Hitman. How are you tonight, sir?
Good, we're back again. We took last week off because work eviscerated us,
A little
as it
bit.
normally
Yeah.
does. Just drains you like a good Sith, force draining life force out of us. I just couldn't people. I couldn't people last week. I'd been peopled out.
I
I was
just,
just drained, and I think you were
I
drained
love doing
too.
this and everything, but oof, it just, like it sapped me last week with everything going on. I was just like, you know what?
And well, and that I
Unfortunately,
mean, when it saps you, that's when it's one thing to snap me, but like when it snaps you, because like I said, you're the more gung ho of the tribe here, so that's pretty telling when it's like, yeah, I gotta take a night. That's fine, and and that's the thing. We all need kind of like a middle day to kind
yep,
of
yep.
digress.
Every so often, it just needs to happen.
I mean, unfortunately for me, I just want try to take that middle day and then continue to hear just how the Switch 2 is just the fantastic console. I was like, I hate you, not you, the people
Wait,
that
what's this about
heard it
the
from.
Switch 2 console now?
What's that?
I have not been paying a great deal of attention to the Switch stuff right now,
Oh
so
yeah, it's like just now the games that they're. It's like, oh, Bananas is great, and somebody at work was like, oh, you got it, Mario World. Someone's like, I got it just for if you think Mario
oh, the Mario
Kart's
Kart
great,
World.
honestly, yeah. Yeah, then just wait for if you think Mario Kart was good, 8 was good, just do wait for Kart 2 and then just I mean everything we've talked about, just like the you should get it because of the graphics on it and I'm like it's whatever. No, I'm not for that money.
No, it's not in
Don't
my
even get me
book worth
started.
it
Then
either.
I get into this argument, about the freaking. I made the comment, and you would have thought I would have slapped their grandmother. I said, "Well, just gonna go get a Steam Deck." Made that comment, and that's what
Uh-huh.
that started a whole
Cause say,
fight.
who you angering now? Who are you angering
Not
now?
not intentionally, but I said, well, for that price, I'll just go get a Steam Deck. Oh, well, you can't get a Steam. Why'd you get a Steam Deck? You can't play all these games and it doesn't have the graphs. It has a subpar graphics card and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, because it's a computer.
Considering the amount of stuff that you have available to be able to play, I mean, it outweighs it. And then also the emulation aspect too, if you want to do all that sort of stuff. Like we keep going back to this, but it's just so funny because
Oh yeah,
there's so much more versatility from the Steam Deck than there is from the Switch 2. And yeah, I
I mean,
mean,
I told him like if I wanted to play a brittle subpar gaming console, I said I'd just go play PlayStation. I don't
yeah.
need a yeah. Oh, yeah, it's just
Shots
funny.
fired.
No, I guess I was grifting for the Steam Deck, but no, it's just it's funny though. People are like gung ho. Like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 came out, and I I assumed it was for both the Switch and Switch 2, but like make it sound like, oh no, you gotta get the Switch 2 to play Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4. Like this isn't a new game. It's been out for I don't know when 3 and 4 came out, but I mean, the whole Pro Hawk Skater's been out for donkey's years.
Oh yeah, I saw in the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4 that came out for the
Yeah,
Switch 2
yeah,
is a one of those download code games too.
yeah.
So it's not
So
like
it's
the
like
actual physical cartridge. So
no, it's just and like I said, we'll just put it to bed. But I just find it funny. It's like give me all the reasons that people are telling me to buy a Switch 2 is to play these games, but these games are literally ported over from the Switch 1. Like if you had told me, if you came to me, if Nintendo, Greg Bowers, that shyster that we talk about sometimes, if he came out and said, "Hey, Breath of the Wild release for the Switch 2 will have not even DLC, but we've changed the game, or we've revamped the game, or like it's a Breath of the Wild 2, right? Like if it was something different than the Switch, and even at that point, like if he came out and said it was a different game or they released another game, a Zelda game, like I'm still hesitant because of the price tag. But as a
Yeah.
Zelda guy, I'd be thinking about it. I would be. I mean, there would probably be moments of like, do it, and then I'd be like, don't. For $450, just go get a Steam Deck, and I can play all my old Star Wars games. But no,
I
the exact same game. The only thing is like just graphics, like the far to see or the see to whatever the depth to see, whatever they call it, that you can see farther. There's like different like graphics where you could see depth to view or something like that, view to depth. I don't know.
oh
You're the gaming guy. There's just different graphic packages or just they're just the graphics. Like,
yeah. I know
yeah,
they have their
no.
little upgrade packs for the new game for the games when you're porting them over and stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean, if they release Spider-Man 2 to the Switch 2, would you get it?
You mean the GameCube one? The good Spider-Man 2? The only true Spider-Man 2 game? No.
Well,
That
that
would
and
not that would
and then the
that would not
PlayStation
that,
one.
that would not make me go and get it. No.
What about the PlayStation one?
If they release the PS2 version?
Oh, the PS5 version, the one where
Oh god,
the
no. I'm not touching
oh,
that
okay.
trash.
Well, I'm just asking. Each his own. I'm saying.
I played the first game and I saw I've said it before. I saw the warning signs and I didn't go near it. I didn't go near the second game.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Thank you, Nerdy Neo. He said draw distance is the term you're looking for, Hitman.
draw. Yes, thank you, nerd. Yes, draw distance. So it's like, oh, it's like it's kind of acting out like this, and I'm not talking crap on my iPhone, right? Because I'm an Apple guy. But it's like every year the iPhone comes out, it's like very few changes happen to it, right? But you still want to get the new iPhone because it's a new iPhone. Might be a really bad example, but like I don't see a lot of differences from the Switch 1 to the Switch 2. Like it's so bad. And again, I promise we'll put it to bed. But it's like the Joy-Cons. That's the one thing that pisses me off about this whole thing. It's like give me like if you're gonna charge this money and you're gonna do something different, use a different controller these controllers have known issues, so you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, or you're pinching pennies to save dollars. So I just that kind of stuff, man. Like that's crazy. Like you have a lifetime warranty, or you have this warranty to where if your Joy-Cons go out, you send them to Nintendo, and they'll give you new ones or fix. I think they give you new ones, but you use those exact same ones for a new console. Like what? That's crazy.
Yeah, and you had like you can send them out individually too for whichever one gets the problem and then get it replaced.
It's kind of like a car company that has known issues for engines, but they offer extended warranty, or these warranties where you send them in and they'll cover it. It's like, well, if you know it's an issue, why don't you just spend the money to fix it? Oh, but that's not capitalism, like, let's make stuff that's subpar to keep them coming back. You got me all mad about this. I was having a good day.
I didn't
This
even
is
mean to get you mad on that.
No, it's stupid, man.
I don't even
It's
know
like,
how
and
we
that,
got
and that,
into this to begin with.
no, and here's the thing. I have never been a computer guy. I am, this is a monumental moment. Everybody needs to that is joining us. Take a seat. Write this down. On this day, Jay Hitman's actually defending computer gaming.
Oh my god. Well, I honestly don't see that as a big thing just because, I haven't gotten all of your gaming takes over time.
No,
So,
but I mean I'm a console guy through and through, and here's I'm to the point where I'm like I'm gonna go buy Steam Deck.
yeah, but you've been more of an Xbox guy, so at
Well,
least
yes,
that's
that
been
is
my assumption.
yes, yes, the only true console was Xbox. So hey, and this is not a subjective comment. I owned a PS4, played Destiny, trash. That game wrecked me. If you want to know why I'm
Oh,
so cynical about PlayStations,
you got a
I
PS4 for
did. I
Destiny?
did.
Oh, I'm
And, yep.
sorry.
And then the greatest Diablo game of all time, 3.
That's debatable.
Nope, Reaper of Souls. It's actually a scientific fact. It is the
Well,
greatest
all from
game,
a
the
certain point
Necromancer.
of view. From a
Nope.
certain point of view.
That's what we need to do before he gets to the chat. That's what we need to do. We need to stream Diablo. Because I think you do 2-player, yeah?
Yeah, the all the Diablos are pretty much
Yeah.
multiplayer.
Yep.
To some extent.
That's what we need to do. I'm going to change you. You're gonna be
It's fun. I like it, but I'm just more of a Diablo 2 guy. That's all.
Well, not everybody can be perfect.
God damn it.
You reserve the right to be wrong.
All right. Let's say
So,
hi
yeah,
to the chat really
yes.
quick. Hello, Melissa Lore saying, "Hey, Fractured Filter." She's the first one into the chat. Hello, asking, "Have you seen Superman?" I seen it,
Oh.
Craig. I don't follow that, but we will get into that. And hello, Briscoe1234, who says, "Hail, Fractured Filter," and to the Melissa Lord as well. Star Wars Marvel Purist, how are you doing, sir? Saying, "Just remember, if you ever talk shit about somebody on YouTube, just give them a free lightsaber and everything is all good." What the hell? Wait, so if I talk shit, I was gonna say, if I talk shit about Star Wars, hey, where's my free lightsaber? I should have gotten one by now. I talked shit about him for his bad Kyle Katarn coverage. What the fuck?
Star Wars Marvel peers get a free
I'll
lightsaber
take
from
a
him?
free lightsaber.
Not that he was talking crap on him. He was just stating facts, but maybe theories thought it was.
That's funny though. So that's all it takes to smooth things over. All right.
You know what's so bad about that?
The China sabers.
It's if I'm wrong, Elite Crew, but it sounded like they were TXQ lightsabers that he just rebrands.
Ain't that some shit?
Yeah, it's like me buying a Kia, taking off the emblem, and
putting Toyota or something on there.
Yeah, put it in a new like a different speaker system, and calling it a Nissan.
And hello, Nerdy Neo. I hope you enjoyed you went on a European vacation, sir? I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had fun. I didn't catch it. Oh, I meant to catch his being backstreamed. And he said that I was really quiet. I hope my volume is sounding better now. I've gotten this new microphone, so I'm still like tweaking things, and I haven't really since we skipped last week. I didn't get to test it in here, so.
Say, it doesn't sound like you ever fall asleep anymore.
I try to keep awake. Yes.
It's okay.
And
we've all done it.
Well, and since starting some things, I think I've helped adjust sometimes my sleep levels, so which I can go into if we want. Star Wars Marvel Pierce in quote says, "Once you were stronger than me, Revan, but as your apprentice I surpassed you. The master must always be stronger than the apprentice. That was why I betrayed you, Darth Malik." Oh, Malik, but you lost your jaw to you lost your jaw anyways. Hello, Black-pilled Timon, Meteor Advocate. How are you doing, sir? Hope the meteor is on course, ready to take us out. Okay, we did get you sounding louder because apparently you did dip for a moment. Hello, Soul Assassin. How are you doing? Says, "Y'all both wrong. The greatest Spider-Man game is the 2001 for PlayStation." Are you talking about like the? Yeah. I think you know the one you're talking about. I enjoyed that one, but let's face it, Spider-Man 2 gave you the ability to web sling through the city, gave you the open world feel and all that. I mean, to me, that was what I was always craving for. Because I remember trying to do that with the first Raimi Spider-Man video game that they did. I remember like some of the chase levels with Goblin. I was trying to just have fun and web sling around, or even the when you in the first level of the game when you're in his wrestling outfit. I tried doing the same thing, just kind of web slinging throughout the city. But I finally got my wish.
You played the PlayStation 5 version, did you not?
No, I played the first PlayStation 5. No, the PlayStation 4, the Insomniac Games one or whatever. I
Oh,
played the
the
first
one that
one.
just came out. The one that just came out
No, I
that
did.
had
I never touched that one.
hmm.
The Spider-Man 2 one I'm talking about is from the PlayStation 2 or GameCube era, which I believe I had the PlayStation 2 version. I did see recently Nightmare. He did a really good job with the Dolphin emulator, tweaking it out and giving it some kind of some polished look, graphics and stuff like that. Did a really great job.
The one that we reviewed that you're like, that's very progressive,
No, we never
not
reviewed
good.
that one.
Well,
Star Wars Marvel Pure says Greg loves that one. Of course he does. Nerdy Neo says I'm an iPhone guy too, but I only upgrade my phone about 4 to 5 years.
yeah.
I'm not even an iPhone
Honestly,
guy, and
that's the same thing.
I try and
Well,
do that.
you don't have a real phone. But no, to that point, after COVID, I stopped doing that. I've waited. I mean, I've had the 14 for since 14 came out, and I'll
Okay.
probably wait for the next one because
I mean, that's the thing. You don't have to get one every
no, it's
year
just
because there's not always big upgrades in between. This
no.
is like you can wait a little bit. And I mean, shit, hell, it's funny. It's like I always get the old folks that come in and they like still have
A SIM card.
well, this is like their older iPhones in general. Like they still have a 10 or something like that. They're
See, they have I saw someone still had the iPhone 4, or they had iPhone 1. I was like, is that a? I showed my age. I was like, is that an iPod? I'm like, huh? I'm like, never mind.
God, iPods and stuff have been out of circulation for so long now. At least from what I've been able to tell.
Yeah, but it's like that just shows your age.
You're right.
Like, what's an iPod?
Marvel Pure says I got my PS3 for MLB The Show and MK9. I don't know, I'm always so mixed on the sports ball game stuff. To me, I feel like you need to like put some do it like an arcade style sort of thing, kind of like the NFL Blitz games where it's just like over the top.
NBA Jam.
NBA Jam's another good example. Yeah. Like stuff like that to really make it some fun. I get really snobbish and I'm like, if you want to play a sports game, if you want to play sports, go out and fucking play some sports. Like it's there for you to do.
Come on, if you let's NBA Jam was the
Oh no,
Nintendo
yeah.
64 was.
NBA Jam was great and NFL Blitz was freaking awesome. And they also had a NHL Blitz, which was also a lot of fun. So,
Yeah.
Like I want over the top, and they even had the Mutant Football League on the Sega Genesis back in the day, but they've made like a newer they have a spiritual successor to that too. Like do some fun with it. Like have a blast. I want to hurt people too. Like
I will never be able to shoot a ball from the half court line in real life, so that's why NBA Jam was just the greatest thing ever.
Fair enough, I suppose. But Mortal Kombat 9 is a good one. They did it. They were right to do that considering after Armageddon, it was just so balls to the wall insane. They kind of needed to do a bit of a reboot, but then after that fact, it's just been so downhill. And then he said, "You think he'd be shipping to me in bulk?" I don't know what that means.
Oh, it's the theory.
Oh right. Oh yeah. Oh right. Because of the lightsaber thing.
Yeah.
For real. And he says, unfortunately, like you guys, work has been a bitch. China Sabers Part 2 is coming. Oh no. Just taking longer than expected.
Marvel theory or Star Wars Marvel Pure should try to return it to THQ and see what happens. Like, hey, you sent me this really crappy lightsaber.
It's for real. Nerdy Neo says, "Yep, the trip was a blast, trip of a lifetime." Well, I'm glad to hear it, dude. I don't know if I saw you posting it about it or anything. I was like, suddenly like,
I haven't seen Neo in a while. He hasn't been in the chat. He hasn't watched a replay. What's going on? And then when he suddenly started popping back in, I'm like, oh shit, there he is. And I saw in the Melee's Discord about the trip. I was like, oh shit, that's where he's been. Marvel Pierce says, I feel like my mic settings were perfect about 6 months ago, and ever since StreamYard started tinkering with their system, my mic sounds like crap now. Well, like I said, I'd gotten a brand new one. I got one of those Shure SM7Bs off of eBay for like $100. So it's still been a process. I finally got my settings, at least in StreamYard, sounding better. So the last time we did the wormhole watch, I sounded a lot better in that. So I was really at least pleased with that. I just know with OBS, I still have some tinkering to do with it. So Briscoe says, I'm watching this stream on a flip phone. Let's go. Flip phone supremacy. Nerdy Neo says, arcade sports games are the only traditional sports games worth playing. For real. Like I said, nothing beat NFL Blitz, especially when you got a player and then basically power bombed him on the field. That was just freaking hilarious. It was everything I always wanted to have happen. Marvel Pure says PS3 era and those games were the attempted 3D era. I spent 4K on a Sony big screen with 3D. It was fun while it lasted. God, I remember that resurgence of 3D. Yeah. Ouch, though. I mean, if you got the scratch, by all means.
Did you ever play Turok?
Which version?
Or 64?
Hell yeah, I did.
They just, I don't know if it's the same one, but the Switch just released like are there 3 games?
So Night Dive remastered all 3 of the Turok games from the N64. And I don't know if the third one was on the N64 as well, but I know the first 2 were. But yeah, they did I got it on through GOG and everything. And Night Dive did a fantastic job with adapting it for PC play and everything. Like they cleaned up the
recommend
controls.
buying them then.
Oh hell yeah! Like Turok 1 especially is fantastic. I love that game. Like the character animations are hilarious. And they were some of the early 3D games that still had death animations, which to me, I love ragdoll physics and everything, but nothing beats a good old fashioned like death animation. And they had some hilarious death animations in that game. Not like to the levels of like say like a Fallout, the original Fallouts 1 and 2, but still just fantastic. I wish they would sometimes wish they would bring back death animations as much as I love ragdoll physics, but that would be a request out there into the universe.
Outside the realm of possibility, I'm assuming.
No, it's possible. It's just people just choose the easier path of doing ragdoll physics.
Lazy.
Marvel Pure says back in 08-12, sports games were still decent. I was never big on the sports games myself anyways. This wasn't my jam. Like I remember playing it it was NBA Jam and everything in NFL Blitz, but after a point like yeah, I also just wasn't following sports in general, so it just wasn't my thing. Nerdy Neo saying, you never made a half-court shot IRL? I have always been a fat person myself. I am not very athletic. So, no, I haven't. Hitman, what about you?
No.
No, never managed it.
Nope, got pretty not close one time, but that was it.
It's also been a really long time since I've ever been on a basketball court, so...
Yeah.
New York, Florida man says, sup, fellas? Hello. Hope you're doing well. Nerdy Neo says, yep, got caught up on my missed episodes of Saturday Night Sith. Let's go. We can always thank you, Neo. You're awesome, brother. Can always count on you. Marvel Pierce says, people say my OBS mic settings sound great. Once my StreamYard 1 year ends, I will be trying to do all streams on OBS. Good luck. It's a bitch. I've gotten things mostly figured out for the setup and stuff, but man, it can be really well, like some of you might remember from a few weeks ago when I lost Hitman's sound and then my sound was messing up and then and it was just all because we were just trying to check out the damn video for
So convinced that I was censored.
yeah, you were claiming censorship when that was not the case, but yeah. Nerdy Neo
My
confirmed
truth.
yes. Yeah, exactly. Nerdy Neo confirmed yes, all 3 Turoks were on N64. Thank you, sir. And then there was of course the 4th one, but that was a reboot on Xbox and PS3, I believe. That one was weird. Marvel Purist N64 was awesome. You know what? I've been encountering some people that have been N64 haters, and I don't understand it because yeah, I agree. The N64 was awesome. I love that system. New York Florida man saying, Filter, did you see I posted you? I did see that. I just oh god.
What did you do?
No, New York Florida man, he had posted our reactions to his Pedro video.
Oh yeah.
He said it's part of my realistic reaction series. So far, you, John, Keeley, Grizzy, and Dirty White Ape have your own episodes. Damn it! I'm sorry. I meant to look at that. I did see that pop up. Soul Assassin said Force Unleashed, Ragdoll Physics. Yep. And then said Turok was dope. Played all the games on this N64. I played 1 and 2 for sure. I never got around to 3. So maybe if I ever pick up the collection, that'll be my chance to play the 3rd game. Marvel Pierce is worried. New York Florida man says, I'm hoping to get a second reaction from you if you're down. Oh no. Soul Assassin says Turok movie was there was a movie? I didn't know there's a Turok movie. When did that happen? Then Soul Assassin said, I'm still holding out for N64 mini announcement. I emulate it. I do just fine on that. So New York Florman says a purist reaction would be awesome too. Hey, there we go. Nerdy Neo says, I'm thinking of doing a top 5 on N64 games soon. Ooh, very nice. Oh god, that'd be Star Wars Marvel Pierce SOT, is that Shadows of the Empire? GoldenEye, yeah, okay, so yeah, Shadows of the Empire, GoldenEye, definitely both top 5. Oh, dude. Now you got my brain activated. New York Florida man says Oblivion. If you know, you know. I don't know. Okay, so Hitman, as part of the title of the episode, you are our review monkey.
Oh, that was Brad.
No, it's just you.
I thought he was the monkey.
Well, you're our guinea pig for tonight.
I don't want to be the Ferengi.
Well, too bad. You don't get to be a Cardassian, considering you wimped out on us.
That's crazy. I had a Cardassian ball I had to attend.
Another job fair event.
Equal opportunist.
Anyway, you actually got out to go and see the Superman movie.
I did indeed.
And this is gonna be a bit of a dick move on my part, but it's rather interesting too, considering the issue you certainly took with the Suicide Squad game and the way they defiled characters in that, and you still were willing to give them money.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't. I mean, let's be honest. They didn't pee on Mr. Terrific. They didn't kill Mr. Terrific and pee on him in this movie.
So that's the rationale. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if they had peed on him, then you know I would probably walked out. But there's no
But
no
no kind of defilement of that sort. Gotcha.
I mean, if we're talking about suicide, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, that whole game went way. I mean, to I mean, there's a saying. It's like does your depravity know no bounds? And that's the embodiment of what the Suicide Squad game was. I mean, to just straight up, you know, be on a black man, and just defile every single character, even the women, even the Amazon woman.
And just really quick, hello OG Star Wars, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. And asking what are we discussing? Superman. We were just kind of getting into that, yeah. But I had to kind of needle Hitman just a little bit for for going and seeing it.
I know I guess before we start, I want to know what did Brad say about it, because I didn't catch his review, and I'm just curious.
I haven't watched his review yet, so I don't even think he's dropped it yet, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm gonna here's the thing. I'm gonna preface this. We're gonna go into this conversation. I'm gonna preface this by saying I am not the most learned when it comes to action comics. My wheelhouse is DC, or I'm sorry. Well, my wheelhouse is Batman, more so Detective Comics within the main Batman run. But even at that, there's still stuff that I miss. I'm not Brad. Yes, I own a DC encyclopedia, but I'm not a lawyer. I can't just conjure up every single thing that's ever happened. So that being said, I did see the movie, and I did, for the most part, I did enjoy it. I thought it was really well done.
Okay.
Even we talked about we talked about when we reviewed the trailers. It's breaking the fourth wall, and some of the CGI bad and whatnot, and there are issues with this. I mean, you can tell that some of this stuff is clearly CGI, but I would even say this CGI is better than anything Disney, Marvel's pumped out.
Really?
Well, that might be a stretch.
Are you just doing your favoritism towards DC?
Well, there. I mean, there is CGI there. Is it like the best? I mean, you can tell it's CGI, but I still think overall, like, I mean, let's be honest. The guy, Timothy Holt, who played, Beast in the First Class run, I think he did a really, really good job. I mean, it's hard to embody, Luther. It's like you've got. I don't know if I said this on the last show or if I was talking to a buddy of mine. It's like when you have Luther and Tony Stark. These two characters are very, very. They're very, very. I won't say special, but they're. It's hard. It would be. I don't know what I'm trying to say. You've got to do it right, because if you don't get an actor that can embody fundamentally who Tony Stark is and how he acts, like, it's not going to go over well. And the same thing is, I often, whether this is accurate or not, in my mind, I in Luther's like the Tony Stark of Marvel in the sense of like intelligence.
And just a quick correction, Nerdy Neo says Nicholas Holt, not Timothy Holt.
I'm sorry. Yes, Nicholas Holt. I apologize. Nicholas Holt. I don't know why I keep saying Timothy Holt. Nicholas Holt. So you've got to do it right. And this is hard because the only Luther that we have to compare outside, the original ones is Jesse Eisenberg, and so anybody you put up against Jesse's just gonna kill it. Like, I don't have issue with him as a person or actor, but like his role as as Lex was just it's like he's like the George Clooney. Like, you should never have done it. You should never have agreed.
What are you telling me? He's like George Clooney should have never have done Batman. Like, we didn't deserve the bat nipples and the back credit card and everything. Come on,
how dare you?
That was pure cinema, sir. Pure cinema.
This is payback for all the Godzilla stuff I've given you. You have the audacity.
That was not intentionally the reason, but now I'll take it.
It was no. You said a very specific term that only those. You
Hmm?
said bat nipples.
Yes.
It's a very specific term.
Of course, I grew up with the movies. We all made the jokes of the bat nipples on the outfits.
Yeah, but it's been 20 years since that joke's been made.
And I still remember it.
You gotta bring that up, man. Yeah, come on. You gotta do the bat nipples. It's been majority of my childhood trying to forget this
and
thing.
didn't it start with Val Kilmer too? Like in Batman Forever?
Oh,
Wasn't that where
I don't think he didn't have bat nipples.
didn't he have the nipples too? Or was it just
No.
Clooney's suit? I don't
No,
remember now.
Val Kilmer
I'm
didn't.
sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. I sidetracked this completely.
Hold on, Hal. We're looking this up.
Well, yes, I was gonna make this a disclosure. Since Dan Blackroyd is here, he says, "What do you rate it on a scale of 0 to Thunderbolts?" Now, listen. No way can any superhero movie come close to the Thunderbolts. We acknowledge that, and we understand that. So it won't.
No nipples at all.
No nipples.
Not
Okay.
not a singular nipple.
Yeah, Melissa
on
Lawrence
this suit.
confirming. Yes, Kilmer had bat nipples at the end of Forever. Thank you.
He did not have bat nipples right now. He did not. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, Melissa
I love
Lord,
how
why?
I pitched his voice to Scott.
Hold on, I gotta confirm this. This can't be a thing. Thank you.
Yeah, I told you.
Well, I don't believe you. You're just out here just.
Wow.
They did.
I'm hurt.
They gave him the. They
I'm
gave
hurt.
him the nipples.
Jeez. I mean,
just
you were
brought up the
already
bat
kind of distracted with Jim Carrey's overacting and everything in that movie, so I can understand why you forgot about it.
He did not overact.
A little bit.
He didn't overact.
A little bit.
There was some of it. They gave him that bat nipples.
Yeah, they gave him the bat nipples.
I'm as the kids say, I am shook. I'll never be the same. I spent years going to therapy and just talking about
try and block out the bat nipples.
to block out the bat nipples, and then on this day, 2025, you bring up the bat nipples.
I'm sorry.
No, you'll never unsee.
I have all.
Batman
That's the
was-
funny thing. I have all of the Batman movies on my hard drive, and they occasionally play, so I don't mind it. I'll still watch those corny ass
Okay, but
movies.
let's be honest, man. The bat nipples, Val Kilmer's bat nipples compared to George Clooney's nipples are like his bat nipples are that of a pregnant lady. Let's be honest.
Oh god.
Like they're too big.
Okay. I think we've
No, you brought it up. We can camp out on this. You brought it up. You're the one who brought up past trauma that I tried to suppress. I tried to put in Pandora's box.
I love that it's a
You
past
pull,
trauma.
you literally pulled a sheepster, and I don't know whether to be mad at you or impressed.
Oh, there we go. Soul Assassin says the bat nips were there to warn Batman when Mr. Freeze was near. That explains it.
It's actually a really good point.
cold.
That's a really good point, and it just shows Bruce's just sheer brilliance. Honestly.
Absolutely. Anyway, on to Superman.
Yeah. So, well, where I was going since we went down a rabbit hole. I'm not the most learned about action comics, but I enjoyed it, man. Like,
So
you can always
through it. Take me through it. Let's go on a journey.
Oh boy, let's see if I can even where to start. So, the opening scene. What's interesting about, I guess, the movie is, for me personally, I'm trying to figure out the timeline of this because it opens up with, obviously he crashes down on Earth, bleeding. He whistles to.
So that's how the movie opens.
That's how well, it's very reminiscent to like the old school Christopher Reeves movie with the panel type, words and whatnot, and it, it gives you kind of tells you a brief description, and he hits the ground, and you tell that he's bleeding, like he's jacked, like somebody, and this is Superman, right? So there, it leads you to believe that like something serious has happened. Something has kicked his rear,
Right.
and so he's there, and he whistles, and Crypto comes in, and I did not know that Crypto is actually his Supergirl's dog. I did not know that. Now, whether that's within the comics, I haven't confirmed or whatnot. Again, because I'm not an actual comics guy, but Crypto comes in, and so it wasn't as dark as like Christopher Nolan. So if you're wanting a dark Christopher Nolan esque DC story,
This
I
isn't
would
it.
say this is not it. This is it's not necessarily like you know fun living or fun loving Paul feeling humor, if you will, but it's not like Batman, right? And I understand that
Right.
I say this with a little bit of bias because like I will tell anybody and everybody, whether it's within DC or Marvel, that Batman story. I mean, it's dark, man. Like watching your parent. Like I don't know what gets
Yeah.
darker than watching your parents
Well, and I think that's
shot
supposed to be
and
the
killed in
nice
front of you.
contrast between the two, right?
Right, right. Batman, leads through the shadows, and Superman's kind of out in public. He's
Yeah.
so. But they did so. Crypto comes, and shows kind of I don't want to, the word humanize isn't the right word, but humanizes Crypto. I mean, Crypto's like a dog, and kind of doing the fun loving dog stuff, and they go to the
So
Fortress of Solitude. But
were those robots
um,
as cringy as they seemed from the trailer too?
you know,
Because I thought that was a little goofy. Like I understand having
yeah,
some humor and everything, but those robots just kind of
right,
seemed out of place.
yeah, I don't. Again, all the stuff that I'm talking about, and maybe Star Wars Marvel Purist, maybe he can shed some light, or Nerdy Neo. Like again, I come at this from secondhand knowledge. The kind of the fact checking I did through this movie was through, like we talked before the show, a buddy of mine who has been reading comics 30 years, right?
Right.
And he's well learned in both Marvel and DC, right? So all the fact checking and all the questions that I ask in regards to did it follow canon? Did it follow continuity? Did it break continuity? It's coming from someone who has read these comics, right? So that can always be, I guess, interpreted as subjective, if you will. But I'm going to preface this conversation by saying this: I have not checked my encyclopedia. I have not started reading any action comics. I've not done any research online. I just watched this last night. So, um, with that being said, were the robots cringy? Like it was. I'm unaware if Superman had robots in the comics. I thought that the guy I was talking to said yes, but again, I don't know. But were they cringy? I mean, I don't know. It's
Just kind of goofy then. Just kind of
eh,
they were there for the comic
well,
relief.
I don't know necessarily as comic relief because I don't. I mean, it's like when we watched the old Christopher Reeves movies, right? Like I don't remember robots being in the Fortress of Solitude. It was really just him, right?
Yeah, that's always been my
And so
impression.
whether he built the droids or whether they were, came with him from Krypton, I don't know.
Yeah, because that seems to
So
be the other thing is the timeline of all this. That was
right,
what I was
and this
trying
is
to
very
figure out because it's like he's already kind of established. So
right, and that's what was so confusing. And so like so kind of progressing. So he's got the robots there. He's hurt. He's and the robots are taking him, inside the Fortress of Solitude. And we from the trailer we see, where the sun, they dial the kind of like they almost was kind of reminded of like something in Stargate that they, these dials kind of amplify the sun and whatnot. But there's a
yeah, they
are you
showed
gonna
it.
go see it? I don't want to ruin it. Are you gonna go
No, I
see
don't.
it?
I don't
Okay.
care.
All right. You
You're
don't
good.
care. Okay.
I'll
So there's
even if I
the
go and even if I watch it, it's fine. I don't
yeah.
mind.
So while he's doing this, there's a clip of like so when he was when he came over from Krypton, there was a message that his parents uh gave him,
Okay,
and
so
at the
speaking of really quick, Melissa Lord said the Jor-El message breaks lore.
and again, I don't know, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I I need to go. I need to start reading that. I will say this really quick. That this movie, though, whether it broke lore or it didn't, it has kind of, and I never thought I'd say this, but it has kind of driven me to want to go read the old Action comics, not necessarily this new crap where, like Tom Taylor's made freaking Superman gay or John Kent gay, like that. But I'm
Yeah.
talking about the old established Action comics, right? Because I want to know. I want to know, like, did
Yeah.
this break? So, in regards to the message, I don't know. I don't know if it did or not, but there was a message, and we only, for a part of the movie, we only got the first part of the message, and then there's a second part of the message that one of Luther's, androids, whatever she is, she hacks into the Fortress of Solitude, like his main computer, and ends up getting the
The
last part of the
second
message.
half.
But I had, yeah, a second. But I thought, with Luther being as brilliant as was, I thought the second half of the message was kind of like AI, or if it was like he altered it. But again, the buddy I was talking to says that the Kryptons were like conquerors and kind of warriors, and so that kind of falls in line, like with what the last part of the message kind of falls in line with their character, I guess, if you will.
Okay.
But that message, the second part of the message, the second part of that message really, you could tell, like, really just threw him for a loop. But I don't know where I was going with that. So the message, and then they break into so Luther walks up with this masked guy. We know who he is. It's Ultraman, right? And this girl. They walk up to the Fortress of Solitude, and this is what blew my mind. They walk up to the Fortress of Solitude, and they gain access. And I didn't know then until after the movie when I was talking. I was like, how did he do that? How did he just walk up to the Fortress of Solitude? Well, it
So they're doing this
fleshes this
all
out.
within the first 20 minutes or so, or like?
It's probably about probably for 30 or so,
Oh,
if
okay.
not. It's a 2 hours and 9 minutes, so it's within. I mean, don't trust my timelines, but it's within the first part of the movie, um, and whatnot. And so, but there's this political this. It's really kind of not weird, but there's also a political aspect to this game. So Luther's playing all sides of this, man. Like, it's kind of like Tony Stark, but the only difference is, like, Tony Stark made weapons and sold weapons, but he was only really, he thought, and then this is my just interpretation of Tony, but he was selling weapons, but he thought he was doing it for good, right? He didn't know, kind of like in the movies when he finds out that the other people have his weapons, he's like, WTF, right? Well,
Mm-hmm.
Luther's playing all sides of this, and there's a political, like a conflict with two nation, or with one nation dividing down, the middle, and he's got his own, plans, if you will, for that. So it's basically he's creating this war for his own gain, to
Okay.
create his own country within the uh, uh, if you will.
Okay.
Um, I'm probably not describing it as beautifully as I probably should, but and
So Luther
but
wants to
then
start his own nation, basically. Is that what I'm
yeah, but he's
understanding?
playing, yeah. Well, he's created this conflict in the what, lack of a better term, in the Middle East between two warring factions of a country, and he's aligned himself with
Okay.
one
Okay.
to get rid of the other, also as a distraction, so he can, the deal was that he would help, I guess, if I understood the movie correctly, get rid of one faction, like kind of peasants, if you will, and then he would have half the country. He would build half his country, and the promise was that he was going to bring technology and flourishment to this region, this unsecured region. But they have obviously Lois Lane in there, but what's interesting, the first part of the movie where there's obviously a conflict, a battle, but which we saw in the trailer where he's, the interview where he's like, he stops a war, and someone was like, well, that's very selfish. That's outside his character. His character is very selfish. He's just concerned about himself, and look at what he did. And throughout the movie, kind of humbles up a little bit, and I guess in a sense that's the way I could describe it. But we get Lois Lane. We get kind of this. And again, I know I'm not super knowledgeable about Lois, but it's almost like there's tension between this relationship, and she ends up grilling him off the record, on the record, blah blah blah, and we see that whole development, and then we see, and again, this isn't like step by step, but I'm trying to piece this all together the best I remember. But
Right.
then we see this Luther, he's hell bent on destroying Superman, like, and plays the, alien, and he creates, this conflict, and then paints Superman as all metahumans as bad, but he's the worst. And he goes to the Pentagon above before, I don't know what it's not Congress, but it's kind of like maybe a war committee. I don't know. He goes before this group in the Pentagon and is trying to, you know, get him under lock and key, and um, end up something happens, and he turns himself in, kind of reminiscent of Man of Steel, but he turns him in, and uh, there's a it's not the what do you call it, the in Man of Steel, they that's where they sent Zod, not the Shadow Realm,
Oh,
but the
oh, Phantom Zone.
yes. So they go into this kind of this portal, and it almost looks like the Phantom Zone, but it can't be the Phantom Zone, because in the Phantom Zone, Superman's powers don't work,
Uh
or
huh.
Kryptonian powers don't work. So he's still Superman within it, but it turns out to be like a not a parallel dimension, but a God, it's like it's I don't remember the term, but they call it, but it's like a
Marvel, yeah,
parallel
Marvel Pure
universe,
says
or
it's a pocket universe.
oh yes, thank you, it's the pocket universe,
Yeah, Melissa
and
Lord
that's
is.
where
They both got
yeah
that in the pocket universe.
yeah, and that's where kind of Lex is. He kind of
His little
operates,
prison
his
area
little,
is and stuff.
prison, and then there's a guy, he throws him in the cell, and there's a guy there, and like we talked about Metamorpho, who we were like, man, it looks like he's got Krypton or kryptonite claws. Well, wasn't claws per se, but it's a kryptonite, and keeps him under lock and key. But this is kind of how insidious Luther is. So Metamorpho is on one side, and then there's another on the other side, so he could see him, is his son being held hostage by one of his goons, and that's kind of how he's keeping Metamorpho in line, which I was
Okay.
like, pretty. I mean, that's pretty reputable. I think that's honorable, I guess, in a sense. Keep your
Melissa
guys
Lord
working
says
for
Lex
you.
keeps all of his ex girlfriends there.
Probably. Well, there's the ballerina too, so
Oh
I don't know. I
no!
guess he's
Oh
dating him.
no!
Yeah, but so Metamorpho's there and kind of keeping Superman under, with the drain. He's got the kryptonite, and just
Kryptonite.
draining
Yeah.
him, and yeah, and and he's there, and Lex is, trying to interrogate him, blah blah blah, kind of go off and on, and then he comes back and asking there's the guy that gave Superman food, and kind of, I guess, a friend, if you will, or an acquaintance, is like, answer this question. Basically, they're playing Russian roulette, which I was like, okay. Even the gun, I think the gun looked CGI. I don't know if it was a real gun, but again, I mean, they're anyways. That's neither here nor there. But he basically playing Russian roulette. He's like, I don't know, and he shoots, and he's like, oh, I got lucky, and he's like, let's play again, and ends up killing him in
Oh
front of
jeez.
Superman and Metamorpho. Well, Metamorpho starts crying. He's always, you see him like starts crying and whatnot. And he's like, you just killed the man. I didn't do anything, and Superman's basically saying, like, if you help me, I'll get your son if you help me get out of here. And there's a moment where Metamorpho, like, as the movie progresses, he turns off the kryptonite, and Superman's still weak and whatnot. But Metamorpho's like, well, I can't. He's like, he says he needs, the sun, and he's like, well, I can't create the sun, but I can, he ends up trying to create this massive, like, I don't know, like nuclear explosion. I don't know what it
Basically,
is.
the
It's a
radiation
hydrogen.
that
Yeah,
would
yes, the
simulate
radiation, and
the
yeah,
sun's rays.
right. Yeah, but I guess I kind of missed. I skipped the whole part of this. That I just not coming to mind. But it's Guy Garner, Hot Girl, and Mr. Terrific. There's a part where they show up and they're fighting the kaiju. I forgot the kaiju, man. Oh my
I was
goodness,
gonna
oh
say, when does
kaiju
the
scene.
big kaiju
Yeah,
battle
that
take
that
place?
yeah that took place, and then
Yeah, it took place.
well, I didn't really understand. It was all a distraction, right? But I didn't really understand. It's like this kaiju. It's like this little thing that turns into this massive, like, almost like kind of Galactus type esque. This starts out small and goes into this massive creature. But that happened. But the reason why I'm having a hard time placing the timeline is because you see I don't know, they call it the Justice Gang, but it's like Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific, and Hawk Girl. But it's at the Hall of Justice, but it's almost like it's in the process of being built.
It's like a
Like
proto
they're
Hall of Justice sort
Yes,
of
and
thing.
it's so for the Hall of Justice, I mean, that was the Justice League. I mean, this is
Right.
where, Superman, Flash, Wonder Woman, all, Batman, all, I mean, it's the Justice League characters it's the Justice League. That's the Hall of Justice. That's where they operated out of. But there's these three people. So I don't know where this timeline is. If it's obviously between when the Justice League was first established, and obviously prior because of the three that are operating outside the Hall of Justice, which I thought was interesting. But um, I don't know, man. This movie's a lot, and I'm skipping over pieces because, like I said, I just
Well,
saw
and
it not
so
last night. It was Thursday night, but
and part of my
um,
thing is, do they ever establish like what the time frame is for how long Superman's been active exactly? 'Cause
no.
that's
Not
no.
not that I know. Then that's what's so well, no, and that's kind of like that can either be a good thing or a bad thing because the way that they set this movie up, and you and I brought up the concern, and it wasn't just you that I brought this up. I said to a lot of my buddies, like, there's a lot in this movie. There's a lot going on in this 2 hours and 9 minute movie, but the way that they did it, and this is just my opinion, and whether I get burnt or not for it, it's fine, but the way that they did this movie, in my mind, I feel they can do more, right? Because it wasn't an oversaturation of stuff, but it also
But it sounds like a lot still going on though. Like you
there
said.
is, but if they, in my mind, if they play this right, if James Gunn plays this right, because he directed it, you can go, you can do a lot of different things just from this movie, whether it be movies, whether it be TV shows. I think there's a couple DC shows that are coming out. There's one like season 2 that I don't know if it ties off of this or whatnot. So you can do a lot out of it, right?
Right.
Uh, in my mind, I don't know. It ends up, you know, finding out that it's not Bizarro. Actually, I thought it was Bizarro. I thought Ultraman was Bizarro, right? I either thought
Oh, that's
Ultraman,
right. You were
right?
yeah.
I
I
either
remember
thought
that.
Ultraman was from the Crime Syndicate, or Ultraman could be Bizarro because of the cow. And it ends up being neither. So that was kind of like, well, you could have done more. I mean, it could have been amazing if it was really Ultraman, because you could have done a whole Crime Syndicate type branching off if you wanted to. And if it was Bizarro, that would have been absolutely fantastic and amazing, because I love Bizarro. I love Bizarro. Superman Red Sun by Mike Millar, one of my favorite comics, because it has Bizarro, and it explains to you how Bizarro came about. I mean, he was created by Lex, right? He was an imperfect clone of Superman, right? So I thought, well, that would be fantastic. I mean, who doesn't want to see a Neanderthal version of Superman fighting Superman? Like, that's great. So, Munzer turns out to be either or and whatnot. But
So
Lois goes to, yeah.
is Lex Luthor just kind of the central villain to all of this? Is that how they're kind of easing
Um
us into all this?
yeah, he's definitely a proponent, for sure. Like I said, they're outside the kind of the political faction that's going on, or this situation. Like, I can't pronounce the two where they're at, but he's the main guy pulling the strings. And
Okay.
one can say, and the other thing is, like, when he fights, when Ultraman is fighting Superman, like, they really, what I really enjoyed about it, honestly, is they show, this is 3 years from when he land. There's like a 3 year gap, if I remember the the opening credits, but it Lex it shows that how much Lex has studied and is obsessed with Superman, in the sense of that when Ultraman is fighting Superman, like, he's at LexCorp. It's Luthor Core. They changed it, but he's at LexCorp and he's calling shots. He's like R3, L2, and these are like moves that these are moves to counter Superman's moves. So he knows Superman so well that he knows what Superman's going to do, and before he does it. And that way, the moves that he calls out are counters to his move. If that kind of makes sense, it almost remind me of kind of like a video game esque. It's like L3, L4, But when I sat there, I was like, why is he doing that? And when it clicked, I was like, it's countering Superman. He's countering the moves that Superman. So he knows him so in depth and so intimately because he's so hell bent on destroying, not only metahumans but Superman. And
Okay.
it doesn't go into as to why, like where this hatred came from, but you can tell that there's a hatred nonetheless, right? Whether it be a fear of metahumans or there's something that happened, right? That they don't touch on, which I thought can either be a good thing or a bad thing, right?
Right.
Depending on your side, depending on your perspective. But yeah, I was like, man, that's actually really. I enjoyed it. Now the question is, well, would a level 12 intellect person, would a person with the level 12 intellect really, have to study someone to know their counter, or would they just automatically assume that this is what they're going? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. All I know is that he knew Superman very, very well enough to know what he was going to do before he did it, or right before he did it, which I thought, and it just shows you, and through that, it shows you like the Superman's vulnerability, which is unheard of. Like Superman, this is one thing I can say with somewhat authority is for my being a Batman guy and the limited Superman comics I read, very rarely was he vulnerable. I mean, that's why Superman that's the perception of Superman. He's Superman. Like there is no vulnerability with him. There's nothing that can take him out until you introduce kryptonite. And then that's the vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
So when he's getting his bell rocked, I mean, this is like freaking, you know, I don't even know. It's like, Undertaker whooping the mess out of the Hurricane, you know, or some, it's like this. It's just he's getting destroyed by this clone.
Okay.
Well, we find out is a clone. So, and
Okay,
then
so we
how's it
have a
end?
clone in there. Okay.
Well, it's Ultraman. Ultraman. He's a perfect clone of Superman. So he's
Okay.
not.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah,
okay, I
so
wasn't
he
aware.
so he's not Bizarro because there's a point in the movie where they're fighting and the pocket dimension, pocket realm, whatever is splitting and there's a rift. So that's kind of what Mr. Terrific's they're trying to close the portal, if you will, or close the rift. And but him and Ultraman are fighting. There's a scene at the end where they fall down, and they're battling, and his mask is ripped. I'm like, oh, man, like this is Bizarro. This is it. Like he's gonna. I bet you he rips off the cowl, and he does,
Yeah.
and it's literally Luke fighting Vader at Dagobah in the cave, and Vader's mask explodes, and it's Luke.
Okay.
It's literally just a clone of it's literally Kal-El.
So the
I was like,
more to Luke discovering that there's the Luke clone
yeah, I mean, I guess you could in a roundabout way
for
say it, but
if you want to go to the if you want to go to the Thrawn trilogy there.
yeah, he's fighting himself, and
Right.
so uh, which was kind of like it was kind of like it's kind of like I don't know, like I was shocked because I didn't see that coming, but I also was kind of disappointed because I really wanted it to be Bizarro or Ultraman. I really wanted to be, either or, and it wasn't. But fine nonetheless. So there's a lot of stuff I'm skipping. It's hard to sit here and replay 2 hours
No, it's
and 9
okay.
minutes of movies.
And that's I'm just
I'm
trying,
trying
and
to
that's
hit
why I'm trying to also find stuff to fuel questions because
right.
this is like it is, and this is why I enjoy doing this show in particular with you, Hitman. Is that you aren't as so interconnected with a lot of the drama and stuff going on online, and also just in general, and so it's
Oh yeah,
very
I'm
interesting
the
to get
village
your
idiot when it comes to
I
literally. I'm
I
I'm
enjoy getting your more
yeah.
outsider perspective versus a lot of the people that are just so ingrained with a lot of the stuff going on. Because people are their perspectives are a little, a little I don't know, poison, but a little tainted by everything.
Yeah.
So
No, I will say this. I'm the village idiot of the group. I am disconnected from I mean, this is gonna sound embarrassing or it might be embarrassing, but I didn't know who um oh my goodness. Oh my god. Oh my god. The who we're trying to get on who he's the leader of our community. Who we're trying to get on Wormwatch. Don't say anything, but um
we
what is it?
there are no leaders, but I know what you're trying to say.
Yes, like and so I had to research who this person was, and that's just how whether it be innocent or disconnected I am. And I don't do it intentionally. I'm not knowledgeable, and so when I try to do these conversations, I try to come at it from a like my own perspective
Yeah,
because I'm not.
that's what I want is your particular because I'll even admit to a certain extent my view is a little tainted in certain regards because my brain is just actively also trying to find certain cues, certain subversive elements and stuff like that. So, oh, there's Duke Devil. He says I'm 20 minutes behind on the live stream and still finishing my review because I was in work today. No problem. Once you catch up, let us know because we're curious. I do have some curiosities. Um, and let's see. Apparently, to Melissa Lord, the numbers thing got annoying. Um, Marvel Purist points out Superman who can move faster than the Flash. I thought the Flash said he was still faster, but that might be going off of the animated show. Can't react as fast as Lex Luthor can. Lex Luthor can name a letter and number a person types on the computer, and Ultraman then follows the command. Meanwhile, Superman just jerks
Yeah.
off. Well, and again, we're still Hitman is coming from an outside perspective when it comes to Superman. That's why, he prefaced that all at the beginning. He hasn't read all the action comics and stuff like that uh to fill that void of information. And Dan
The
Blackred,
other
hello
part of
sir.
it, yeah. I think
He's
the other thing really quick is
yeah,
I just want to point out
go
that
ahead.
I could be I don't want to say jaded is not the right word. I told you this. I wanted this. I wanted and I think needed this movie to be good. So whether
Yeah.
that it plays a part to kind of how and I'm gonna go see it again because I'm of the belief that you never see everything for the first time. Maybe you can. Maybe if you are super into movies, you are smart, you can just see everything. But I'm gonna go again to see it just to see how I feel the second time and see if I missed anything, right? But
Okay.
at the end of the day, can this movie be better? Of course, all movies can be well. But be very careful here. Star Wars can't be any better than it was, Lucas. But some movies can be better than what you get, right? You can always you can always critique movies outside Star Wars. You can't critique Star Wars or Next Generation because it's fantastic. But could you have done this movie differently or brought more to it? Absolutely. Um, will it change how I currently feel about it? No, because I still think overall, like I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm frugal, man. I'm not gonna throw 17 dollars or what whatever it is on a
Whatever,
movie to
yeah.
go out. Like no, I'm very much like you when it comes to like I'm not gonna spend money on stuff, but I did, right? I could have waited for I could have gone to the met up with Jack Sparrow and we could have taken a stroll and watched it together, and I didn't. I went to go see it. Right? Does that mean I support everything DC's doing? Absolutely not. I just want to see the
I know.
movie.
I just wanted to give you
Right?
a bit of shit at
No,
the beginning, that's all.
but hey, but you were valid in that because you can make the argument, right? It's like, well, you went to go see this movie, so regardless of what your intentions are, you're giving them money. It's kind of like when we talked about with Tim and Greg and Star Wars Marvel Pierce and Laura, everybody was saying when they released Revenge of the Sith in theaters. Your
Right.
intention could be that you want to relive watching this movie in the theater, but at the end of the day, you're still giving your money to Disney, and by doing that, you are giving them a pathway to continue to do
Yes.
what they are doing, if you make sense. So you can
And
make the
then the
argument
same
either
for
way.
DC and the way they've been,
Right.
mucking everything up with, or
So
in this case, WB, who have not
right.
been exactly ingratiating themselves in any shape or
Right.
form to the
Right.
fans. So
So, I guess it's a hit that I guess it's a hit that, we all take if you want to see a movie. But at the end of the day, they're gonna get them. It's kind of like we talked about gaming. They're gonna get the money one way or another, whether it be streaming, whether it be the movie, unless you go the high seas route. But again, somebody got that somehow, some way, right? So, um, but yeah, I don't. I enjoyed it. Could they have done stuff differently? Yeah. Could they have added stuff? Sure. But again, I'm not the guy to ask because I'm not the most knowledgeable about action comics. What I was exposed to and what I was given, I will say I enjoyed. Right. Now, is there somebody else who could have done a better uh Kal-El? Sure. Could there have been somebody else that could have done a better Lex Luthor? Gary Oldman probably. I love Gary Oldman. I'd say Gary Oldman should do every film. You know,
you're a
could
bit
there
of
have
a
been somebody?
fan. This is
Just a
true.
little bit, yeah, a little bit. So yeah, you could do it. Was there just in your face, just straight up subliminal messaging? I didn't see it, but again, maybe I wasn't looking for it, or maybe I was just so enthralled or focused on the movie, but I didn't see anything just, you know, out in your face, you know, that made me think, yeah, I need to walk out, or yeah, I'm done. Deuce out. Out like a belly button, you know. Um, I think the one thing that could have made this movie better, I guess, now that I think about it, is maybe doing some type of cameo with Brainiac, or introducing Brainiac, because I think that would be just a fantastic
Well,
movie.
New York Florida Man proposed an interesting theory here, saying Ultraman is going to come out of the black hole as Bizarro Superman. I guarantee it. Could you
I don't
foresee
know how
that
that
being the
works.
case?
Yeah, no, but I don't. So, I mean, I guess I'm not one to argue, but I don't know. Again, I don't know. I'm not an authority on it, but my understanding of Bizarro is that Bizarro is an imperfect clone of Superman.
Well, yeah. So like he
And
goes into when that
this guy,
Sorry, go ahead.
well, but you said, but this guy, the Ultraman, from my understanding, was a perfect clone of Superman. That, again, could be wrong. That's just kind of that's what I gathered. But I don't know.
But
Could be.
by him being
Maybe, but
thrown into the black hole, as he's referring to that, being beaten by Superman, granted the original, kind of make him then therefore imperfect a bit.
I don't know if that's a stretch. I mean, maybe
And
I don't know.
or
I
just
mean,
by sheer force of what happens to him in the black hole. I mean that by whatever happens to him in there makes him an imperfect clone. I mean certainly the pressure and everything of a yeah. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here along with that
listen,
little.
I will support. I will support Bizarro being in this movie. Now, how we get there, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
maybe not.
Uh, but again, like you can't like that's a cliffhanger. There's got to be a cliffhanger. Like, I mean, I guess you could just say, I mean,
Was there a post credit scene?
yeah, but I mean, it wasn't like anything like Marvel. It was just kind of yeah. There, I mean, it wasn't anything. I didn't see any foreshadowing to anything from that post credit scene.
Okay,
But
I just what took place in the post credit scene then?
he's just sitting there with. I think he sits there with Crypto, and they're looking out on Earth. If that
Okay.
makes sense. They're looking at the globe. The globe. Supergirl comes in, and because we learned that Supergirl, Crypto's Supergirl's dog. But I don't know if that's I don't know. I don't know where they're going to go from this. Right there's different things different
Wait,
routes
so
they can
they
go.
also brought
So
in Supergirl into this movie.
briefly, yeah, she has a like a not a cameo, but there's a brief scene between Kara and um
You already said it though at the
yeah,
start. It's like this is just a very busy film. Like
it is.
there feels like there's too many characters being shoved into this. This feels like the old Spider-Man 3 situation. Like you're just getting too many people.
At the end of the day, you're getting Lex. You're getting the main people you're getting. It's Lex, Guy Gardner, Hot Girl, and Mr. Terrific.
Oh, Melissa Lord is pointing out Supergirl is a drunk party girl. New York,
Yeah,
Florida man is also saying drunk Supergirl, mind you.
yeah,
Huh.
she was a little bit drunk. She went to Planets Without a Red Sun because I guess they kind of touched on that. She goes to like planet. She likes to party, and she's she's drunk. I could have done without. I mean, I don't really understand that. So I did forget that. I did forget that she was drunk she was three
And,
sheets to the wind.
and Melissa Lord says the Invisible Man put on his John Cena suit for a cameo. So John Cena was in this?
Yeah. On the
Oh, she gets
yeah,
drunk
because
on red sun planets. Okay. All right.
yeah, and that's why I said like there's other stuff they can. I forgot about Peacemaker. They did bring Peacemaker in, so that's why John Cena's retiring so he can come back and do a movie.
Aha. Or this is why he's vanished for a bit from
Yeah,
WWE.
yeah.
Okay, so I did see this back and forth with some people about this movie. But I want to see if because of your perspective on things, I want to see if you can confirm some of this. How often does Clark cry?
In the movie or in the comics?
In the movie. We're talking about we're stick to the movie.
There's one. I mean, the only scene I can think of is when Luther kills. I think he's the bodega guy, or he kills the guy in front of him in Metamorpho.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think back and see if there's any other. Like he's pretty broken up when he heard about his parents, like the second part of the message, but I don't know if he cried there. And when I say cry, like there you saw like when he's in front of Metamorpho, like you can see like a tear coming down his eye, but his face is also distorted from the kryptonite. But that's the only one that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay, and does Ma Kent ever make fun of Pa Kent for crying twice?
She calls him. She calls him something. But I forget what the term was, but it was like I don't know. She called him something, but I forget what it was. But I don't know if it was a term of endearment or if it was something that had to. I mean, he was like a softie. I don't know.
Okay.
I forget.
So
Because when they're back, they go back home for a moment, and that's
right.
where we're introduced to Ma and Pa Kent.
So Melissa Lord says all the white men cry except Guy Gardner. Can confirm? As
You
you're
said all the
now
guys.
cycling through your Rolodex of of the movie.
Okay, well, so here's the thing. What constitutes crying? Is a teardrop that comes out your eye or your eyes that are red? Does that constitute crying? Or are we talking about like
Full blown
Kira
like
crying over
snot coming out
like
of the
Kira
nose.
crying? Yeah, like Kira crying over the Ka or Pa or whatever the Kai that got what we thought got killed.
Right.
That would be the first thing I would say is like what constitutes crying.
Oh yeah. What about the Marvel purist points out Lois? This part, but Lois doesn't cry. But this part is what I'm curious about, and is a pilot. So what was with that whole that
she's not a pilot. No, so yeah, that was so they're in the so Mr. Terrific stays behind because he's the only one that he's trying to hold this the portal, if you will, open, or he has to guard the portal or something, and she has to go. She leaves, and so they take the T sphere, and he makes a comment about like, but don't worry because it's super. Again, I forget the term he used, but it's like um, adaptable, or I don't know what, I forget the term they uses, but yeah, she ends up flying the T sphere, not well, mind you. So to call her a pilot is I would not call her a pilot. I'd call her just somebody trying to figure out how to fly this T sphere.
Interesting. Okay. But Melissa Lords does say a single tear counts as crying.
So if I go eat an onion
And if you shed that
and
tear, you are
I shed that
beginning.
tear,
Well,
I'm
you are
crying.
beginning to cry. Yes.
So what's the difference between? That's a stretch in my
Okay.
in
No,
my
I'm
opinion.
just
Like,
throwing
so
that out there.
everybody, so nobody can have emotion. Superman can't have emotion. Like, no, like by that logic, nobody can have
There's
emotion.
definitely no. This is the thing. There's an intended um perspective being shown here though to make only the white men cry, to make only them show that emotion, show what is considered still some in this still a form of weakness.
It's a
So
terrific at the end of the movie. He showed some type of emotion because he very clearly says he doesn't care about people's emotions. But there's a part of the end of the movie where he's like, there's a brief scene where he's got to. See, this is where I'm coming out. Like, I can see where you're going. I can see where people are like trying to go here, but this is where I'm coming from a like a I don't pay attention to that crap. Like, okay, he shed a tear. So did Luther. Does that mean? And there wasn't. I mean, outside Mr. Terrific and Perry, who is literally the the James John. Who's
J.
the
Jonah
what?
Jameson.
Yeah, Perry's the J. Jonah Jameson of the Daily Bugle, or the Daily Planet. Like, there wasn't anything. There was no scenes that he was in that he cried, but there's two people out of all the white people in that movie that cried. So I guess I'm having a hard time understanding the argument.
Did Lex
The guy
Luthor
where
cry?
his eye, there's a scene at the end of the movie where like he yells and he's visibly screaming, and then like he knows that he's beat and his eyes are red, but it's also he's sweaty because he just got his teeth kicked in by uh so, or he got beat up by somebody at the end of the movie. So I get at the end of the day, like I don't understand the argument. It's like because a tear was shed, like so help me, like what's the point? Like what is being said? Because there's multiple white people in this movie that didn't cry and didn't shed a tear, but I guess I don't understand where we're going with
It's just
this.
more the focus on like the heroes and stuff like that in particular, and
But you're
just what who
dehumanizing
are
them.
not necessarily, because especially when it comes to men, they are supposed to be that pillar of strength, the ones that do not show that emotion so outwardly. It's
But as a
maybe in a
I
moment of in more solitude, but when
I
you
will say
are
this. I'm just gonna say, and this is I know we're talking about we're talking about movies, but as a Christian, Jesus wept. So like he cried, he
okay,
wept. So it's like I don't understand. And in my opinion, he's the greatest superhero of all time. So again, I don't understand the argument.
no, I
I'm not the smallest cookie in the toolbox, but wept. Did he not shed a tear?
who
Thanos in the Marvel, did he not have shed a tear?
I
I don't know. I'd have to go back, but I don't
I
understand
think
this
he
whole
did when he was sacrificing Gamora.
right. Okay, so
I think I don't know. It's been forever since I.
the
It
only
feels like
superhero that
forever.
I know that didn't shed a tear was freaking Darkseid.
That's not a
I guess
villain,
I don't
but
understand. I guess I don't understand the argument or the point because like superheroes aren't supposed to cry and men aren't supposed to cry, but because there was a tear shed, like watching. I'd be concerned like if you saw somebody killed in front of you and you didn't have a reaction, like you might
It's one
be
thing to
a
have
Charles
a
Manson
so
level.
so like as Melissa Lord here points out, she says as a sous chef, onions don't count, but emotions do. Christopher Reeve didn't shed a tear when Margot Kidder died, or Lois Lane. He got pissed in reverse time. So it's one thing to be shown as crying, it's another to then kind of get pissed off and do something about it. You're not going for it.
You're saying that he
I wish
instead of shedding
I wish
tears.
Sheepster was here. He would be able to kind of lay it out a little better, I think.
So we're I get where you're saying because there's this not it's not a stigma or misconception, but like men can't cry. Men are not supposed to cry. Men are not supposed to show emotion. We're supposed to be strong and whatnot. But I don't necessarily think everybody cry. Everybody has emotion. Everybody cries.
No,
So again, like if you're saying that he's less of a superhero because you're comparing this Superman to Christopher Reeves, and you're saying because from this is just how I understand because a tear was shed, he's less of a superhero than Christopher Reeves because instead of crying, Christopher Reeves just got pissed off and killed somebody.
no, he didn't kill anybody. He just reversed time.
Well,
he
just
spun the
reversed
planet
time, right?
around and saved Lois that
Right.
way, which brings
Right.
up so many questions. But
Right. So again, like it isn't me like someone's gonna say, "Oh, Jay Hitman's gone woke." This is not me going woke. I made the point. It's like just because you shed a tear or you cry, it doesn't make you less of a man or a person. Again, comparing a movie to my faith, but Jesus wept, right? So it's like, was Jesus less of a man, or was he? I mean, he was obviously God himself, God in man form. Is he less of anybody? Is he less because he cried over his best friend who? I mean, that's how crazy it was. He knew he was gonna die, but he still wept over it. He still had emotion. Is he less of a was he less than who he was because he shed a tear? Should he have just got pissed off and just said I'm done with it and just you know what I mean? Like that somebody say, well, that's a silly argument, Jay Hitman. Well, like, it might be silly, but the logic that like the argument that is being brought forth because he cried he's less I interpret it as he cried he's less of a he's weak or he's less of a superhero, right? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not taking the bait.
I'm not trying to
I guess
bait
if you
you.
will.
I'm just there's certain like I've talked about the cultural subversion and everything. And I'm not talking woke. I don't use that term. You know
Right.
that. But
For sure.
the subversive angle, and especially like it gets referred to of, strong time creates weak men create hard times, that sort of
Right.
stuff. That's just kind of all part. And so like then the question becomes, did any of the POCs cry? Were there any of them crying in the movie, or was it just all the white men? And then that adds to that messaging that it's only, to that perspective, white men that break down and start crying over situations instead
Is
of being
Metamorpho
stoic
white or
and
is he
instead of being stoic and and
okay?
strong
Is
in certain situations.
Metamorpho, is he white or is he black?
I don't know. I didn't see the movie.
I'm just asking you, is he white or is he black? Not knowing anything about Metamorpho, his past or whatnot, but if you
If
looked
he
at
cried, he is
Metamorpho,
probably a white man.
but how do you know?
He cried.
He's white or he's purple, orange, blue, and gray. Like how do you know he's white? And because he cried, is he less of a villain than
No.
I know what you're saying. I'm not buying it, and that's just I guess from my perspective, it's like that's a that's a ridiculous. I don't know.
Even
Like,
Brad said Metamorpho is white.
well, I don't know. He didn't look white. He looked purple to me. He looked purple and orange.
So like Marvel purists, and this is kind of another big point to some of this stuff, and this is why I like your perspective on all this. But like he says, my whole problem is that I think many in the YouTube sphere appear to have a DC slant and are cheerleading only against Disney, sorry, only against Disney Marvel and Disney Star Wars, and DC apparently gets a pass for issues that would normally get dunked on. He wants
Well, I
he
hear what he's
wants
saying.
consistency here.
Oh, then no, I get it. I have made very clear that I have issues with DC. I told you that there should have been no reason why a black Samoan guy played a Middle Eastern dude in Black
Oh,
Adam.
right for that. Yeah,
I
the
made
good
a
old
comment as to
Dwayne Johnson.
why freaking George Lopez, who is known to be a racist against white people, makes a comment about Batman being a fascist,
Right.
right? So I I will admit that I guess I have a slant towards DC, no different than I think Marvel purists would have a slant towards Marvel because I grew up reading DC, right?
Right.
So I guess there would be, I guess, some type of a bias where I'm a DC guy, so therefore I like DC. But just because I'm more of a DC guy does not mean they get a free pass in my mind for all the stupid stuff they've done.
Right.
We just got off a 10-minute rant about bat nipples. And it goes further, deeper than just bat nipples. It goes into George Clooney
Right.
playing a terrible Batman, or a Jared Leto playing a god awful Joker, or a freaking Will Smith who played an asinine version of Deadshot, or John Cena who is also white who just is terrible botched version of Peacemaker.
And there you have it.
Or Suicide. So it's like, you know, I guess this is one YouTuber, and I'm not even gonna say I'm a YouTuber because I can't even figure out how to operate my own YouTube. But this is one guy who, yes, has a love for DC, but is not afraid to call out all the ridiculous stuff that DC has done.
He's
So in
he's
regards to,
speaking more generally towards some of the other bigger, YouTubers out there, and especially with
well, no, I'm not,
certain spheres. So
I'm not disagreeing with him, right?
yeah,
But for me personally, like I am not going to sit here and build a platform on, giving DC a pass for everything they've done. Absolutely not. Now, will I jokingly and talk crap on Marvel? Absolutely, because I'm not a Marvel guy,
it's your
right?
way. It is your way.
My brother my brother is a huge Spider-Man fan, right? And often go back and forth and say, "Hey, when you want a real comic, come talk to me, and I'll bring you some of my Batman comics." Right? And he's like, "Why don't you get an actual superhero that has powers?" And I'm like, "Well, that's funny because he doesn't need powers because he's so smart and cunning, and and so there's this friendly
Yeah, there's
banter
the
back and
banter
forth,
for it. Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I don't focus on the politicalness or the subversive stuff when it comes. I mean, I can, but like the whole trash talking, if you will, on Marvel just comes from it's like I've said, you either up until recently, it was either your Star Trek or your Star Wars, your Tupac, your Biggie,
You're right.
your peanut butter and jelly or your peanut butter and banana,
Yeah.
your Italian or your Mexican. There's this stigma where you cannot be both, right? Well, recently, I will say that, I've had kind of the interest in getting into Marvel, right? Just to see
Oh,
what
okay.
is being offered, right? So again, like I know he's probably referencing bigger YouTubers, but like no, they don't get a free pass. They've done dumb stuff. Probably the reason I stopped buying comics when Tom Taylor turned Nightwing gay. I'm like, bye. I'm like, no, that's ridiculous. Or I don't know if it was Tom Taylor, but they did this whole love story. They turned Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy lesbian,
Oh god,
and
yeah,
had
and
a
that was
relationship.
there was even like hints at them starting that sort of shit in I think it's the new Adventures of Batman and Robin, or is whenever
Right.
they changed definitely like the animators and stuff, and they made everything more angular for the Batman show.
There's
So
a
like
there's been
that's where
yeah,
I remember they started some of that crap too.
there's been tweets that you've tweeted at me where within DC Comics where Batman being submissive to Catwoman.
Oh,
Oh, I can't do it. Like that's
yeah.
like you know, so I think at the end of the day, like I get what I can see this argument outside the little box I'm operating in, right? Like I can
Yeah.
see that, but like if we're applying the logic of like, well, because this guy cried,
Mhm.
then I'm not buying it, man. Because by
That's
that
fine.
logic, then like
And
no, I
that's
get
why
it, but
I
then it's
like
like,
your
well, like
perspective.
then because if you cry, then you're not a man,
The
basically.
company
Whoa,
boys
being
rated my
rated by
stream with
Regardless if you
1
have a penis or
views.
balls. Like I just like find me a superhero. I guess this would be homework for the next show. Is like let's do our research and let's go through all the superheroes and see who's actually cried and who's not cried, and then we can have a conversation on well they cried so they're discredited. They can't be a superhero. Spider-Man can't be a superhero because he bawled when his uncle died. Batman can't be a superhero because he bawled when his parents got killed.
So just
Joker can't be a villain because he cried when he fell into the vat of acid and got his face reconstructed. It was more of a crying and laughing, right?
right.
Thanos can't be a Thanos can't be who he is because he cried when, he kicked Gamora off the cliff. Jimmy Hawk boy, what of Jimmy Renner who Hawkeye, he can't be one because he cried when that fell off. Doctor Strange. So it's like, that makes sense where I'm coming from. If we're applying that logic, then every superhero that's ever cried is not a man, and they're all white, and they're discredited.
just just throwing it out there. I just wanted to throw
Wakanda
the
Forever would the Wakanda Forever guy, Black Panther, did he? Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not trying to come across as woke or anything. I'm not.
You're
Yeah.
fine.
In my
I'm not
mind, not.
giving that accusation. Again, I'm getting your
No,
perspective on the movie and how you're seeing it. That's all.
for sure, for sure.
And a
I'm gonna
big
go back and watch it, and I will count up how many people cry and whether they're black, Asian, white,
oh
orange,
no.
yellow, or gray, and then we'll talk about it next Saturday.
Okay.
And I'll do
Okay.
my research and find out if Metamorpho was actually white or if he was like not white. Because hashtag winning. If he was black and he cried, then hey, hashtag winning.
There we go. Just a really quick big thank
Oh,
you to
can we?
the company boys over on Twitch for rating our stream. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Before we go on, really
Okay.
quick, and we'll put this to bed. Where do you sit on the line?
On what line?
Like what is your perspective? Because I've brought my perspective where, like I said, I'm not buying it, and
I
I
haven't
can
seen the movie for one to know
okay.
all the context of it.
Regardless if you saw the movie
Yes,
or not, what
to me it is that angle of increasingly pushing for in particular white men to show that to effectively be weak, to what I guess this is the thing. I need to see the context of what happens in the movie to kind of really maybe put into context. But yeah, like if they're the only ones bursting into tears and stuff like that, it's not a good sign. Um, so because I mean, I know they've always a lot of people have talked about it can be handled in the right way, and it's usually though for oh, and over on Kick we got a follower, Eric Manq. Thank you. Um, God, I'm just dropping the ball. Oh, never mind. It's a dolphin porn pusher. Uh, where was I going with that? Like I can see it where it's definitely could be a cause for a problem. Again, context is king. I'm sure there might be some different
Metamorpho
perspectives,
was
but then
not
if you also have somebody making fun of them for doing it, also adds some problems. That does especially add some layers of problems because that's just reinforcing the weakness, and stuff like that. So
Making fun of a superhero shedding a tear watching somebody that he knew get shot in the head, that's that's not cool. Like, so again, if we're
Well, no,
politicizing
no, we were talking about. I think it was I brought up the Pa Kent being made fun of by Ma Kent for crying. So that was more to what I was referring to. If that does take place in the movie, again, I'll have to maybe watch it this week, and then I can come back and I can also give a
yeah,
bit of my perspective. Um, so right now this is week one, Hitman's perspective on the Superman movie.
yeah. I don't think it's necessarily we're two ships passing in the night, but I think I'm not. I don't. How do I set this up? I don't want to sound disrespectful. Like, I'm not out.
You're just going into it to
If
watch
we,
a movie and to
I'm just
enjoy
yeah,
it.
right. And so if we're applying
And this is the thing, like
all this,
I already said I've got a I don't want to say tainted. Tainted is not the right word. But my brain is just wired that it just happens to pick up on certain I don't know if I want to say social cues, but certain tropes and stuff
that's
like
fair
that that
because yeah,
take
I mean, you did a Babylon 5. So no, like I understand what you're saying.
yeah.
Oh, it's necessarily tainted, but you have a presupposition
I'm just more alert
for sure,
to those certain elements that can take place in
for
a
sure.
TV show or a movie that just makes me go,
Right,
"Oh fuck, here we go." Sort of
right.
thing.
And for me, like I can understand what you're bringing up, but I guess where I'm defending it, and it's not just because it's a DC
You don't
movie.
see it
I
as
get
an issue. That's the thing.
I,
Like
well, I don't understand the logic, right? So, and again, I'm not the smartest thing, but like I don't understand
neither am I.
what if somebody whether he's white or not sheds a tear, then they're weak, and it's like again, that's why I just looked it up. So metamorpho, it does not classify what race he is. The metahuman, he shed a tear because he witnessed somebody get shot in the head. So what it like what is our opinion of him?
I guess he's kind of that
That makes
X
sense.
factor to it.
But even within any other superhero movies, any other super movie, any other super Thor is Thor when his
So
mom
he's
died, when she got killed?
so you're
Is
saying
he
people
I mean,
might be overreacting a little bit to certain aspects of this.
I just I don't understand the application of whatever they're trying to apply, I guess, right? Because it's like, well, they did it in DC, so therefore it happened in this movie, so therefore because this person's white and he's a superhero, then he just they're just painting all white men
Right.
as weak.
Well, weak
But
or
there's been
always the villain
superhero,
or as always the
right,
villains and stuff like that. It's always more in a derogatory way than as
right,
something to be respected is the thing. It's all about the framework of the scenes and stuff too, right? So if it's
right,
being portrayed in a manner of weakness instead of a manner of yeah, like you say, kind of more just reaction to what's going on or bravery or whatever, it really changes that context.
right. So if we're going to do this, then it needs to be done to everybody, Marvel, DC, Indie as a whole. And therefore, when it happens to those people, then all those people that are superheroes that have shed a tear, whether they're white, black, or whatnot, are discredited. If that's the application,
Well,
then it
and
needs to be done for everybody.
kind of like as Melissa Lord, she says here, it's okay, Hitman. I just can't help but see all that stuff because of the past 10 years. Star Wars, Marvel, Indiana Jones, most other IPs I like, etc. It's just that all white men in the same movie cried, and I know guns leanings, so it's weird, and I noticed. That's the other part of it is when you kind of know the political leanings of some of these people that they're in then is intrinsic a certain manner of which they're wanting to do this, wanting to basically attack a side. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, yeah. So I'm gonna go back and I need to go back and watch Christopher Reeve movies, obviously, because there's I watched them growing up
Well,
with my dad.
and like
but-
that's what like Greg, he makes fun of Spider-Man because he's always crying.
yeah,
So, and I have, at the end of the day, I don't have it necessarily like it is. I love the Spider-Man movies, 1 and 2 in particular. 3, it's okay. But
yeah.
he does a bit of crying, but it is because of like a lot of knowing, either political leanings or the certain messaging that's trying to take place in a lot of stuff. You can't help but view it in a different lens.
But here's the thing. This just came to my mind.
Okay.
I never saw Clint Eastwood cry, even in Gran Torino. No, not a tear shed. He killed the he killed, but at the end of the movie, he's shot up the neighborhood. And Clint Eastwood is the most manly man I know. One of the most manly men I know. I don't know him, but
King of Kings.
yeah. John Cena, I never saw him cry because I can't see him, and he can't see me.
Nobody can see him.
So maybe he did cry, and I just didn't see him.
Uh,
That's an interesting point, though. So I think, and again, I promise we can put it to
no, you're okay. Don't
kind of
worry.
reflect on old superhero movies and see how people acted then. Because if this is a cultural thing, or if this is a within the last 10 years type thing, because I sit here and after my blood pressure has gone down, I'm like, okay, well, I will go watch the Superman movie that Melissa Lord referenced, but and I trust her obviously because I know she's seen it, but if that's how he acted, where he didn't cry, he got mad and reversed it, which I only thought was through the Speed Force. I didn't think Superman could do that. Anyways, nonetheless,
well,
how did all the other
liberties are taken with movies sometimes? So
right? How did older superheroes, I guess, respond?
Right.
And I don't know Marvel. I don't know if there's, are there older Marvel movies prior to the MCU? I don't know.
There would have been there was the Incredible Hulk TV show. If you want to count that, that's a lot to go through, though. I think.
Yeah.
There was
old, though. That's like in the
there was even
70s?
there was a really
80s?
old I think it was the 70s. There was a really old although I don't know if there's a print out there for the first attempt at Fantastic Four before Fox did it, and then of course there's the Fox Fantastic Four movies. But there was Blade. Blade was a big one, and then of course the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Oh, and there was the Spider-Man made for TV movie show thing as well. So,
Wesley Snipes is like I can't think of. Oh my goodness, Mace Windu, Samuel L. Jackson. That boy ain't gonna cry no matter like you ain't gonna get that boy to cry. So we gotta take Blade out.
Yeah, Blade wasn't crying.
No,
at least I don't think.
Absolutely no. I didn't watch Blade, but I guarantee you he's literally the better looking version of Samuel L. Jackson, and there ain't no crying coming from that boy.
Okay, so going back just a little bit for Brad here. He did say videos rendering, main 3 actors well cast but poor story. Gunn was the wrong choice. The Jor-El retcon is a sin. Kal-El is not Omni-Man. Okay. And then he said, movie was mid, 5 bars of Latinum, 6 if I'm generous. It wasn't a Superman movie. It was a Superman and his super friends. Bloated. Gunn doesn't get Superman. And then he did say he said his wife's name is Sapphire Stagg, and it was her father that turned him into Metamorpho, if I recall correctly. Okay. Let's see. He said, I'm about to sit down for dinner, otherwise I'd join in, but watch Ballbusters. All we talked about was Superman.
You want to point out
that's kind of what's happening here right now. So all we're talking about is Superman.
I love Brad to death, and I do want to plan a meetup to Florida so we can officially you and I can meet him. But he is a little slanted towards the Cardassians, so therefore I don't know if the 5 bar of Latinum is
He's
truly.
slanted against the Cardassians.
Yes, thank you. I don't know. That should be higher than a 6 Latinum. Let's be honest. That's shyster. That's very stingy. Should at least be 5.5.
And then, of course,
5.
here comes typical Brad. What Batman and Catwoman do in the privacy of the Batcave boudoir is for them alone.
No, Brad, not the boudoir.
Oh
no.
God. Oh God.
This is why I love Brad. Always leave it, Brad, just like Peter Griffin, no filter from head to mouth, nothing just comes out.
Of course, Dan Blackbright had said, no, the old Marvel movies, they all lead to Thunderbolts. Of course they do. Marvel Purists gave it a 4.5, being generous. We know you grade on a stronger curve, sir.
I wonder what Greg would have said about it. Hates it.
Probably. I mean, that's his thing.
Though he would still probably rather watch this than anything that had to do with Bajorans.
So, drunk Supergirl calls Superman a bitch at the end?
Oh yeah, that happened. Yeah, she was like, I'm outie. Yeah.
Let's see here. Marvel Pierce said, one thing about Snyder movies, men are masculine, women are feminine for the most part. Not saying you have to like any of his stuff. You don't see Red Guardian juggling clowns in Snyder movies.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't see Red Guardian juggling or clowns in Snyder movies. Gotcha. I kind of misread that. No, Brad had asked Fractured, have you not seen it? Didn't you get a boat ticket? Oh, I got the boat ticket and everything. It's just I ran out of time to watch it last night, so I did not get around to it. Yeah, although Hitman's muted at the moment, Melissa Lord had said, but when everyone white man in the same movie cries, it's weird. It's weird. Oh, I forgot about Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider, definitely a hero. He says Marvel Purist says Ray Stevenson's Punisher, definitely a hero. I need to watch that one. Like I've heard nothing but praise for that Punisher movie. So I need to check
Which
that
one?
out. The Punisher movie with Ray Stevenson in it.
Is it the first one?
I don't know where it falls. It might be like a
Is that with
second or third movie.
John Travolta?
Oh God, I don't know. Hang on.
That's a fantastic one. I enjoyed that one with I forget the guy who played the Punisher, but it's with John Travolta and the guy who plays the coach in Remember the Titans. He also plays the guy Bruce Willis's best friend in Armageddon.
Nerdy Neo says Punisher Warzone is awesome. So it's the Punisher Warzone one.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. Which is the Punisher with John Travolta?
Marvel Pierce says, no, not that one. Thomas Jane. That's the one with I think. Okay, yeah. Punisher Warzone is the one with Ray Stevenson. And then, let me see. Let's see here. Yeah, because there was.
Patton.
Jesus.
Yeah, Kevin Nash was a little much.
The Punisher. Oh no, Thomas Jane also voiced the Punisher in the video game. Interesting. The Punisher. Oh, okay, so it's The Punisher that had John Travolta and Thomas Jane. Okay.
Yeah.
Timon says there is only one Punisher, Dolph Lundgren. I think I saw that one.
Wayne Knight, did he play in the Jurassic Park?
Who? What?
Wayne Knight? Did he not play in Jurassic Park?
Wayne Knight?
Yeah, the guy that's in the porta potty and the dinosaur eats him.
No, he's the one that gets raped in the car by the Dilophosaurus.
Yeah, Wayne Knight, right?
Yeah, he gets it in the car.
Get raped. That's crazy.
I don't know. The
Dare
car
use a kid
cars
show.
are rocking. Don't come a knocking.
Crazy.
I'm sorry. Here I am bringing up fat nipples and a guy getting getting assaulted by a Dilophosaurus.
Did they ever say how Ray Stevenson died?
Oh, I don't know. I don't believe I ever looked into it. Let's see.
The only good thing about Ahsoka.
Apparently due to ongoing heart problems. It was the old ticker. So any final thoughts on the Superman as we conclude some
Yeah, I thought there's a scene where I thought Crypto died, and I was like, if they kill this dog, I'm gonna lose my mind.
But I'm guessing
But
they
no.
did not.
No, they actually did. So no, there was a cut scene where Ultraman punches Crypto in the face, and I don't know if Crypto died, but it was when they were doing it was received bad as they took that scene out. So maybe that was when they were doing the cuts or the reshoots.
Okay.
But no.
Gotcha.
Final thoughts.
Well, and it might be interesting once I do take the time to watch it as well. And
Oh, you will. I'm so excited for you to do it on Wednesday. You're good. Wednesday, Thursday. I'm gonna check in with you.
Oh boy.
I will text you every hour, and I know this is not gonna like if you threaten to text Fractured, it doesn't he can survive without his phone. He's not like some of us that it's attached to their hip. So me threatening to text him every hour is like okay, because there's times where I'll text him and then 2 days later I'll get a yes or sup or
what?
Yeah, we can do that.
I'm responsive.
No, I'm just.
That's more like you, sir.
That's crazy. If anybody that Chiefster, no, but I will text you on the hour every hour. Just different gifts until I get a response. You should actually live stream it so we all know that you've completed it.
Oh, good.
We should do a poll. Who wants
no,
instead of
no,
gaming?
no.
Instead of who's gaming, who wants?
No.
Yeah, listen, the people spoken.
I would get into so much trouble if I tried doing something like that. No way. Nuh-uh.
Oh, I don't think you get in trouble.
Yeah? I shouldn't even have... I should not have ability to...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah, there you go. There, it clicked.
It just clicked. Yeah. I told you I was the village idiot of the group. Yeah, don't bad. That's not bad boy.
It slipped your mind. It slipped your
don't.
mind.
Probably don't do it, actually. Sometimes I don't have good ideas, and this was definitely one of them.
I mean, I understood where you were wanting to create some content out of my reaction to this movie. But yeah, unfortunately, this is not the case. Not the time.
Yeah.
Not the time nor the place. Okay.
We didn't even
Wow.
talk about Jurassic Park though. Oh,
What's the talk about?
I thought about going to see it so we could talk about it, but yeah, I heard it wasn't good. Well, that's not true. Our boss said that it was.
Hmm.
He enjoyed it, but
I sometimes question
I
that
asked
man's
very
taste.
I asked very specific questions about the genetically created dinosaur that gave me kind of horror movie 28
Oh,
day later
the
vibes.
thing that that was allegedly like a
Yes.
mix of like a rancor and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did watch just because of morbid curiosity. I didn't go and see it in theaters or nothing, but I did unfortunately give it my time. Um,
And
eh,
eh.
it's just eh. And the whole big genetic splice dino thing yet again for the third fucking time. Um, it was so ineffectual, like it didn't even matter. Um, some of it wasn't bad. Like they definitely got once they got it kicked off at going to the island, people
Did you
started
watch it
dying.
all or no?
No, I watched the whole thing.
Oh.
Um,
You did.
yeah, I did.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. People started dying pretty quick, but they were kind of like no, not nearly as named characters. They were kind of introduced and then they were quickly off.
Does Black Widow die?
Huh?
Does Black Widow die?
Unfortunately, no. She does not die.
Someone told me that she acted just like Black Widow in this movie.
I don't know, I guess. I don't know. I don't understand the appeal to Scarlett Johansson. I mean, I understand she's very I get the attractiveness part, but the acting, eh. Um it like I said, it's a mixed bag of things going on. The parts that I liked was like that they kind of brought elements from the books in. They finally did the T-Rex attack on the with the river raft scene and stuff, and that was kind of neat to finally see and kind of see the T-Rex even swimming through the lake. Although the water suddenly got really deep, so that was kind of weird, and a little inconsistent with the way it was portraying that little river. But I dug that. That was kind of cool. And then the ending really screamed the ending from the Lost World book, being attacked in this the one of the remote villages, gas stations. They're locked inside. They're trying to find a way out, and then they find this random boat that just happens to be there. Some of it kind of made me think of that at least, and then also just the way they killed the guy off at the end, the main kind of bad guy, as it were. Um, was a lot of elements to that, but again, like they
You recommend it or no?
no, I wouldn't bother. And they are even though it's like called Rebirth, they are continuing the whole Jurassic World storyline stuff. Except now apparently the dinosaurs can't live in normal like North America regions and stuff like that. They have to live more down near the equator due to the heat and oxygen levels down there apparently. And the whole this island that they're at it's related to Jurassic World, has nothing to do with the Jurassic Park scene. This was all for more even though this is basically, again, like I said, just more Isla Sorna stuff. But instead of them just trying to perfect the dinosaurs, this was them trying to do more of the dinosaur splicing stuff going on. I can't say Marvel purist because I haven't watched Dominion, so I can't say if it's better than the last. I would say it's like, it really is just a stupid turn your brain off movie and it wasn't really egregious other than a few scenes with Scarlett Johansson that got like, really? We're doing that? Okay, of course we are. My current ear. But yeah, like I kind of equate it to like Jurassic Park 3 a little bit. Just a little, not a lot. But it definitely was just like, it's just some. But like, even though like in the other movies I felt like they showed a lot more dinosaurs. This was like very limited in that regard. It felt like there wasn't as many to show off. I think it's like, all right, you kind of get it. You get to see dinosaurs. They mainly focused with like the whole mosasaurs and the spinosaurus things at the start, and then the T-Rex. The T-Rex was almost threatening instead of just being like a cameo. But again, like even that kind of tripped up towards the end of it, towards the end of the T-Rex's scene. And again, like I said, the mutant thing that they introduced in the beginning of the movie, which apparently tripped up their high security doors via a candy wrapper. So apparently, if a candy wrapper gets into the gears of this thing, completely shuts everything down, and was made it so that this guy gets munched by the Down syndrome Rex.
Was it a candy wrapper or a candy bar? Because some of that
Candy
some of the
wrapper. Candy wrapper.
Twix, man, I've had a Twix that should have broken my jaw.
No, it was a candy wrapper. And yeah, I saw somebody kind of mention it in a DM group where the hippy dippy, oh, let's make the cure for diseases all across the board, free, whatever, blah blah blah. Yeah, that was kind of gay. Also very unrealistic, but you know, I get it. The whole altruism bullshit. But that was, of course, coming from a white guy. Yeah, I don't. I wouldn't. I would just say you could, if you've seen every. I'd just say watch the 3 Jurassic Park movies. You'll have a way better experience. So easy to pass on all the Jurassic worlds and up to this point. So, and hello, Jordan Star Wars. How's it going? Hope you're doing well today. Nerdy Neo did say Twix are the best, but hard to eat if frozen.
True.
I've never tried a frozen Twix bar. Dan Blackroyd says you can both meet at the Hammond Bush if you get lost in prison after the reaction stream. Oh no. Oh no. I'd rather not. Oh, I'd rather not go to prison. Oh god. Oh god. Trying to think of what to go into next now that we kind of got that all situated now. Decisions. Well, I do have. Guess we can kind of maybe cap things on this. Let me make sure it's being shared for you, sir.
He's had 5 bars of Latinum. He's given just more.
Yes.
I think Storyteller got more bars of Latinum than freaking. He gave more bars of Latinum.
I'm pretty sure we, for Storyteller, I'm pretty sure we were in like the 4 territory for sure. I want to say we were in the 4 territory. I could be wrong.
Like, how sure are you?
It was either the 4 or 5, because I think I might have graded it just for the amusement factor of how stupid it was, and that I wanted to finally end old Bajorans because of the damn hillbillies. But now you got me questioning it. I'm wondering. I wonder if I can somehow find that really quick and find the scores. I think that might have been before he started doing the little graphic for it. Trying to find out. Okay, so I just happen to have it right there at the. Oh, I went with a 3. I put
Oh.
3. I put 3 on the on storyteller. You gave it a 2.
I guess I was okay. Great.
Because you were disappointed that there was no Bajoran death. I just love that's your determining factor for it. You were like, I was gonna give it a 3, but because no Bajoran death, 2.
That's reputable. Adam? 1.
2 from
2.
Adam. 2 was from Adam. Because of a nothing
And the
episode.
pain in Adam's voice.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah, okay, so Brad did 2 and a slip. For when he was allowing slips.
Yeah.
So Brad, he was much more
Okay.
critical and harsher on storyteller than he was on Superman.
Oh, that's true. Okay. I stand corrected.
Ooh, here's a good question from
apologize.
Dan Blackroyd. He's asking, how long will the James Gunn DCU last? Do you think this has legs to go on?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, you
Oh, probably.
think so?
I do.
So how long do you think this could
And
go for?
I don't know, but you have to
How long do you
understand
think it will go for?
I don't know. You have to understand. We got nothing prior to James Gunn. Outside, I've said this for years. Outside Christopher Nolan, there was like,
Well, he
I mean,
did
there
do
was
the Peacemaker series and was it the Suicide Squad or just Suicide Squad that he did the movie for?
well, I'm just talking about just in general. Like nobody prior to whoever was running it prior to James Gunn. Like there was
Which was Zack
a lot of
Snyder prior to James Gunn.
I've
Technically.
tried to block him out. I've tried to block him out of my. Yeah, I forgot
Oh
about that.
no.
Yeah, tried to block him out, but I don't know when you go from a just dog water movie that when you go from just I think dog water is probably better than what Snyder did. You go from what Snyder
Oh
did
wow.
to what
Strong
it's
words,
terrible,
sir.
man. It's terrible. And I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite because I at one point in time I defended it, but like when I
Yeah,
started,
didn't you kind of give
diving back,
some decent
I
words to Man of
did,
Steel?
I did, but like once I started kind of diving into the comics, I was like, oh no, and I tell you what did it for me. It was when I watched Apocalypse War. It's a DC animated movie, and it had Constantine and Darkseid, but how I saw Darkseid being portrayed in just the animated version, and then watching the Darkseid that was portrayed in the Snyderverse, I was like, it's very reminiscent of Thanos. They turned Thanos into this humanitarian that that's not how it's supposed to be. So
Star Wars
I'll
Marvel
see.
Purist gives Man of Steel an 8 out of 10.
Man of Steel was good. I didn't talk trash on Man of Steel. It was more so the Justice League.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people were that was a split camp for that too.
Yeah. All right, Man of Steel is actually pretty decent. The only thing could have I would bring up is like just John Kent dying, not letting him save him, but whatever.
Right. Not the
That's okay.
popular Texas purist.
Yeah. We'll see how long it lasts. I don't know what's coming after this movie. I don't know if they have officially uh released anything.
It'll be interesting to find out because, like it is, DC definitely needs some.
I made the joke that like after this movie, Marvel's gonna ask Gunn to come back.
That would be quite the thing.
See where Favreau goes.
Well, we're on this Superman train, so should we top things off with this article I just found on the Hollywood Reporter?
Sure.
All
Is this
right.
the one where he gets his balls kicked in?
No, no.
Okay.
Did he get his balls kicked in the movie?
I think somebody had put an
So
article. Yeah, it was.
somebody drop kicked Superman in the balls,
It's not a drop kick. He did. I think he did
Wow.
get kicked in the balls.
and we don't see a problem with this. I mean, he's
Well,
the
I didn't
man of
realize
steel.
I
He's
saw-
the man of steel. How is his balls getting kicked in?
How did The Rock get his balls kicked in? I mean, this is The Rock.
The Rock's a jabroni. He deserves to get his balls kicked in.
Hey, he's the people's champ.
No, Diamond Dallas Page is the real people's champ.
Oh man, I miss DDP.
I needed to get it back into doing his whole yoga stuff routine.
Oh yeah, man. Like he's had success even after.
Oh yeah,
I'm not
dude,
talking about like
he's been killing it with the whole DDP yoga stuff, and
yeah.
he's
Well,
just been like helping. So he'll help Butterbean get back into shape for God's sakes.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's
Jesus.
what I mean. He's had success outside just
Yeah,
most wrestlers go on and do movies and all that kind of stuff. He did by helping people.
yeah, he's crazy
So.
with it too. He's
He what's just crazy is for a time there he was helping Scott. What is it?
oh yeah, Scott. He helped Scott Hall and Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
Help both of them out.
Such a tragedy. I actually read how Scott Hall died, and oh man, it's sad.
Oh, that was just an unfortunate event. Nerdy Neo though
Anyway,
throws a wrench into things, saying, "Did Hitman just say he misses STDs?" No, no, he did not. He said DDP,
DDP,
not
DDP.
STD, not STD.
Yeah, no. That's one. Yeah,
no.
no.
P.
P. Who was his tag team partner for years? The black guy.
I'm sorry. Wait.
Do you remember? Who was Diamond Dallas's Page's? Didn't he have a tag team partner for a lot of the years at WCW? Well, he only went to WCW, but
No, he went over to WWE for.
Did he go
for
to
a stint.
WWE?
He did, and they did this stupid stalker angle with him that he was stalking the Undertaker's wife or girlfriend at the time. I don't know, but yeah, he was. They made him play a stalker.
That's terrible. What a waste.
It was.
Storytelling.
I know he. Oh god, what was it? He did have like
had
a
a
little
partner.
stable. He had a stable for a little while towards the end of WCW, and he did do the whole diamond stud thing early on with Scott Hall. But I don't recall him having a like long
He would come
running
out. I have to find it. I thought he came out with I don't know. We can go over the article. I remember specifically. Boy, how did I tell you what, man? Just really quick, not to go on a tangent, but man, I miss like the era of WCW with like Sting and the Wolf Pack and Diamonds. Oh man, just
and
great,
Harlem Heat and everything. The early Booker T and Stevie Ray and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Just Wrestling's just not the same.
See,
I'll probably get.
yeah, Melissa Lord gets it. Vince killed DDP's career, the real people's champ. Damn right.
And it's so sad because I love DDP, man.
Oh
Like
yeah,
just the Diamond Cutter was
him.
just
Oh yeah, the Diamond Cutter was fantastic, and him and Sting were probably my two favorites in WCW.
I would be so scared of Sting coming down from the Raptors.
That
And
was
like he'd
so
always
cool.
yeah.
That
Like
was it.
his
Thank you,
character.
Melissa Lord. He was Jersey Triad with Bam Bam Bigelow and Canyon. Yeah. I was trying to remember the name. I knew it was something with Jersey in the name, but I could not remember what the hell it was. And I think he even
It makes
feuded for a
you
little bit with Raven and stuff. But I Raven, even when I watched back then, and then when I was rewatching WCW, man, I just didn't dig the character. Like, I just kind of found him so whiny.
yeah.
But
It really makes me upset that like if Vince is the reason why he came back and did that stint, man. That's you go from DDP, WCW in its
yeah, the
prime to
people's
this.
champ and to then
Yeah.
being a goofy stalker gimmick. Like, goddamn, man.
Like wrestling's and what I was gonna say is I'll probably get just eviscerated by Tim, but I don't think wrestling it's not the same, man. And I have this conversation with this guy at work who he's, obviously younger. He works up front, you know him. And but he just loves he loves WWE and I'm like, bro, like you need to go back and watch like the early like 97 to 2000. I mean, Attitude Era, I think technically, if I'll get this wrong, I think it was like maybe 98 to 2001, 2, because then you had
For
the
WWE, yeah.
yeah, then
But I mean,
because you
like
had the
97 was the start of the NWO stuff. Oh, wait, was it
yeah.
96 or 97?
Well, yeah, you had that. Then the Monday Night Wars was that early 96 to
That was 90. That was
90?
basically 95 was the start of once they launched Monday Nitro. That was the beginning
Yeah,
of the Monday Night Wars.
was that
And
95 to
then
yeah,
because then it was for at one point, then they started beating him in the ratings for 83 weeks. Boom.
which is insane to think about. Like, what was it specifically that they had? I was more into, I think, Nitro. I remember watching with my dad. I was more of a Nitro guy than I was
Yeah, so was I.
WWF,
I was
and I
more
wonder what they
Nitro
had
until they were really just
what
oversaturating the
changed?
whole the NWO, especially. Like then they had the Wolf Pack. And the Wolf Pack was okay for a time, but then Sting for some reason joined that side of the faction. That seemed really weird. I dug his red and black face paint though, but it just didn't work. And it was just too
It's like
much.
everybody was part of the Wolf Pack. X-Pac, uh,
Original
Nash,
Yeah, originally.
yeah, originally, but I wonder what the hinge piece was where when just WWF started taking off. I mean, let's be honest, they had the whole WWF get the F out, and then the World Wildlife Foundation had to sue them.
Well, and like
But
Dan Blackred points out, like for some of it, Bret Hart started the Attitude Era with the Stone Cold Steve Austin match when he
yeah,
basically when he got cut open and that's like one of the classic imagery of him in the sharpshooter and Austin not tapping out and basically passes out during the match
yeah.
for the match. So that was one half of it, and so some could also I know that people
Well,
point in
then
a lot of different directions for it.
did Bret Hart come back? Did he leave after the Montreal Screwjob and then come back?
He
Because
left
he
for
was he get
it was like a good 20 so years, 15 years. I don't
was it
know. It
real?
was he stayed away for a very long time because it was also because of his brother dying the way he did.
Yeah, no, I knew that, but I thought because was he gonna go to WCW and then that's why the Screwjob happened?
Uh the part of the story is that he went to Vince and Brett wanted to stay with WWE, WWF, whatever. And
And
I
Vince
guess
wasn't gonna do his
they
contract.
weren't going to do the contract, and so but then the what just solidified everything because he didn't
Drop the
want to
belt.
drop the belt in Montreal. he was fine with doing it anywhere else because there was also the beef between him and
Sean.
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, because Sean disrespected him. He's like, I think the documentary.
There's a lot of heat
Yeah,
between them. And of some of their promos, Doug potentially personally, take it for what you will.
you think
But
so?
I don't know. I didn't watch that documentary, but I
Were you talking about their promos though? Dug deep.
yeah, some of them did. So there's the whole sunny days comments and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of stuff being thrown around between the two. And
Really?
yeah.
They
And,
really
and,
just didn't like each other then.
and they've since buried the hatchet because like Melissa Lord
Yeah.
points out, Brett came back in 2010, and Shawn Michaels was a different person at the time, over time.
Yeah.
And so they buried the hatchet. But yeah, there is kind of a sparked rivalry because Dan Blackrade points out he didn't want to drop it to Shawn in Canada, and so in general he was like, I'll drop it any other time, just not in Canada, because Bret Hart takes it really fucking seriously. Like,
well, I mean, yeah, you think about it. I mean,
it's in his family, it's in his blood, but it's just
people.
like,
Well, I've heard people argue that wrestling started in Canada. I mean, as far as Stu Hart and the dungeon,
right?
And,
Certainly
but
for a
yeah.
lot of training and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, more so that. But I always found it interesting. We should do a segment on the screw job because I think it was a lot deeper than like what I think, and that's why like there was an episode where Stone Cold's talking to Brett, but it took years to actually figure out for him to come out and I think talk about it. Because I remember the iconic thing where the screw job happens and he hawks the biggest loogie and spits into Vince's face.
Well, and then like there's been people that have been, was it a work? Was it a shoot? Everybody has their different takes on whether or not everything was legit, like this was really what was happening, or if it was all just like it is.
He didn't tap. Hugh Hebner, he freaking called it.
Well, he's doing what he was told probably by Vince, so
right.
He did.
But you think about it, if they didn't screw him over, would Brett have kept the title and gone to WCW?
That was the big fear, was that he was going to do that.
Right. No different than today. It was like with Cena, he's now the champion and he's going to retire. So now he's going to like kind of.
He's been talking about taking the belt away, and he's the last real champion.
Right. So, but no, but I think with that being, I mean, the difference between Cena and I think Brett and Shawn is I think there's legit hate between those two. Well, now I can't be an exact authority, but kind of watching it because there was something interesting. Brett said like, "Hey, Shawn, this is Bret Hart himself said he's like, I went up to Shawn and said, hey man, like I'm a professional. You don't have to worry about anything happening in the ring. I have no problem putting you over." And Shawn was like, I appreciate that, but I'm not going to do this. I won't do the same for you or something like that. And he felt disrespected. And I think
there was those back and forth and stuff. That's why
whether or not
they put them together because the rivalry just seems so real.
Right. Now, whether or not you said it's a work or shoot, I don't know. But I just think that, I mean, this still to this day is the most the iconic, man. It's like everybody knows either one of the screw job or the 97 screw job.
It's either the screw job or Hogan turning heel. Those are like the two big events in wrestling.
I even think about I forgot that. Yeah, when he went from.
But even like Melissa Lord points out, when Scott Hall jumped the guardrail in '96 and began the Attitude Era, began because that was when he basically the beginnings of the NWO.
So did the Attitude Era technically start in '96?
Yeah, I mean it's so hard to pinpoint. I think everybody has their own their moment for the Attitude Era beginning. I could see that being it because that was especially when they were, I think that was when Bischoff was especially needling at WWF and that whole idea of Hall jumping the rail and doing something that seemed because everybody even the announcers didn't know what was going on, the wrestlers didn't know what was happening. And he just comes in and interrupts the whole thing. And I mean, it stirred up a lot of shit. And that was like their whole advantage, was that they were live, while a lot of times at the time WWF was pre-taped.
Right. When
So-
did ECW come into the mix? This was after, right?
Oh God! Well, because the ECW
With
even got rebranded because once Heyman came in, it became the Extreme Championship Wrestling, and went in the direction they did. I don't know when in particular, but they were also just kind of like that side shoot of everything.
This says in '92 ECW was was founded.
Right, but like at some point it changed when either Heyman came in
Okay.
to take over, because it was known as I think it was known differently.
Tri-State Wrestling or Eastern Championship Wrestling is what
Yeah,
it
and then later on it became Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which started, I don't know if that started the hardcore era, like, oh
They
God, all these
certainly,
guys,
they certainly kicked off the more
Hardcore Holly
extreme, the more
yeah.
extreme side. And like Marvel Purist points out, ECW pretty much helped create Stone Cold Steve Austin, because Austin went there after he was fired via FedEx by Bischoff. And
Really?
yes, and then he went over to ECW, and they just let him start talking, because he was still injured at the time. So they just started letting him cut promos. And
from
that
his
was
neck
where
injury from
no. This was it was something else. It was like a leg injury or something like that. But
okay.
But yeah, he went over to ECW, and while he was still kind of injured at the time, he was just cutting promos, and that was where he kind of got the talk going. And that was certainly where you saw the early signs of Stone Cold Steve Austin, the bucking the authority and stuff like that, because he was talking a bunch of shit towards Bischoff and WCW because of what happened. So, okay, yeah, Melissa Lord pointed out also ECW changed from Eastern Championship Wrestling to Extreme in '94.
Okay,
so they were just shy of when, yeah, and
this is those were the days, man. This is when it was,
it was
like I said, I've
wild,
not
dude.
watched.
It was wild.
I do remember the matches were like, where the fans would just throw trash at the ring.
Well, that was like what surprised Hogan and stuff when he was cutting his promo, and everybody just started throwing trash and bottles and everything into the, like, they even had to dodge some shit too. Like, there was like some real heat going on there. It was crazy. People were passionate back then.
Yeah, man.
You don't see the same fervor, I think, than you did then. And I think a big part of
it was
that
just
is
more unpredictable.
Yeah. And well, kayfabe was still partially alive back then too.
Whatever happened to kayfabe, man? For the longest time,
dead. It's basically dead. Thanks to the
I
internet and stuff like that. Like, there are some wrestlers that'll still keep the gimmicks going and stuff like that, and still try and carry it out. But for the most part, it's unfortunately just kind of a lost art. It's just dead.
Yeah, I would defend Edge and Christian being brothers, and I specifically remember the Undertaker and Kane.
Oh yeah, Undertaker and Kane were my favorites. Brothers of the Destruction.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they remind me of you and Sheepster a little bit. But I would defend that. Be like, oh yeah, man, Kane freaking lives in a room just
The
filled with
boiler room
fire.
or whatever.
Yeah, boiler room. Yeah, man.
Or was
And
that Mankind?
like,
I forget which
no,
one.
but Mankind was in the boiler room. I said, Mankind eats tacks for dinner. Oh man, I used to think. Oh, here's a dumb question, really quick. Was the 2x4 that he had in the ring with barbed wire, was that real barbed wire? I know it's a dumb question, but because he hits, there's a match where before he turned back into Cactus Jack, he fought Triple H, and Boy opened them up, but this was before I knew that they carried razor blades like the refs did. But was that
Right.
barbed wire real? I mean, were the tacks that he threw on the ground real
The
that were stuck
tacks
in his
were
back?
real because I know, at least I know, I think it was with the Hell in the Cell match with the Undertaker and Mankind. I believe those, because Foley was pushing for the tacks, and
Really?
and I believe those were real. So he made sure and got those in. Yeah.
But the 2x4 with the barbed wire, surely that's
The barbed
probably not.
wire, I think, especially if Foley was taking the hit, it was, I wouldn't be surprised if it was probably real barbed wire.
Was he just a glutton for punishment?
Dude, he basically was. He saw it like that was the only way he could get over, was by just putting himself through insane amounts of punishment. And hello,
That's
Brendan Trent. How's it going? Saying hello, Fractured Filter and Jay Hitman. Hope you guys are doing
Hello.
good. Sorry for coming. Oh, don't worry about it, sir. No worries.
What's your favorite era?
Oh, it would probably be the Monday Night Wars. I mean, it's so
Back and forth.
predictable, but it's like that was it.
What did you
those were
watch?
the days.
So on Monday night, what did you watch? Did you?
I
flip
was
the
watching
TV back and forth?
WCW first. That was kind of my introduction, but then like once the finger poke of doom happened and everything, and I was kind of getting over Goldberg. I was like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the bald man. I started at one point we were dual switching between WWF and WCW, and then eventually we just switched over to WWF entirely. And then I think it was one part because of the games too, because it was the WWF Attitude game where we first like got introduced to the create a wrestler, and so then it was just off to the races from there.
It's insane. So the finger poke of doom, I didn't realize this was in the Georgia Dome, and 38, almost 39,000 people were there. That's when. Explain what the finger poke of doom was.
Oh God.
'Cause the
So the finger poke of doom was, and there's a lot of there's a lot of, you know, different sides of these stories, but it was meant to be kind of a reset moment to kind of eliminate the Wolf Pack NWO and to bring it back to just the NWO, just the red, black and white. And it was then also getting the belt back on Hogan, to where, yeah, Nash was the one that killed the streak. Goldberg's, big undefeated streak.
undefeated streak.
Yeah, and then it was on a Monday Nitro that this match was taking place between Nash and Hogan. And then they get in the ring, they're acting like they're about ready to square up, and Hogan just pokes Nash. Nash goes down. 1, 2, 3, and that was kind of the beginning of the end.
Whoa! Hogan push with the finger, and then Nash goes down. And...
Yeah, Hogan just poked Kevin Nash in the chest. Kevin Nash goes down, and 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Hogan is once again the WCW heavyweight champion. Yep. As Melissa Lloyd also says, Hogan poked Nash in the chest, and Nash did the job, brother.
I guess I was confused. So the Wolf Pack,
he did the JOB, brother.
So I guess I was confused on this. So the Wolf Pack preceded the NWO.
No,
were they around the same time?
So this is where things are a little goofy sometimes. The Wolf Pack was kind of what they called Nash and Scott Hall. They were kind of known as the kind of original Wolf Pack.
Then X-Pac and Sting joined.
X-Pac, no. That was just kind of like the nickname for Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. There was no like official team or stable or whatever set up. Then once Hogan did the turn, became Hollywood Hogan and everything. And then there's those three, and then that's when the NWO was formed at the Bash at the Beach. And then eventually X-Pac joined up for that. Yeah, Hall, Nash, 123 Kid are the Wolf Pack. Thank you, Melissa Lord. And so, but once they like it was the NWO got too bloated. They had too many members, but there was a point to all of that. Apparently, according to Bischoff, he had a plan, kind of.
Who were the members though? Because I always remember Nash, Scott, Hogan were the main three.
They were the main three that started it, yes. And then eventually, as time went along, they started adding more members. When X-Pac was one,
Sting.
Ted DiBiase, I think, was another.
The $1 Million Man.
Yeah, and
Okay.
oh god,
Was Sting part of the NWO or no?
Sting was part of the Wolf Pack and NWO, the red and black. This was the thing.
Okay.
And there was different variant colors of the NWO that I didn't even realize had taken place. I just knew of the black and white, which was the main Hogan, Hall, and Nash as the main kind of, and Bischoff. Bischoff was kind of the main one for that. And then eventually what came to be, which was like the Splinter Group, Nash had a falling out with Hogan and all that, and he created the Wolf Pack, which had himself, of course, Conan, Lex Luger. I think Macho Man was part of the Wolf Pack as well. Yeah, Macho Man, and then Sting eventually joined the Wolf Pack for the red and black. And they had their whole little hip hop song and stuff that they came out to. Oy.
What do you think? I know we're running low on time, but I want to ask. I'm enjoying this. So, what do you think? And it's maybe hard to compare, but does DX hold a candle to the Wolf Pack or NWO?
I mean, the good thing
Or
about
vice versa.
the good thing about DX was that they kept it small, and they didn't
Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, and
China, X-Pac, and
China. Yeah.
well, I mean, it was originally just China, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels, and then once Shawn Michaels left, then it became China, Triple H, X-Pac. Once he
When
came
was that
over,
in 90? When was that? 98?
oh god,
99?
something
90?
around
It had to have
there.
been before that because X-Pac and Billy Gunn, or I'm sorry, Billy Gunn and Road Dogg were,
They
I mean,
the
they were
tag
the
team for
winningest
the
winning of the tag team in like 90. They had a run from like 99 to. I don't even know why Billy Gunn left because there was a part of the story where like they lost and they turned on Billy Gunn and then he was never seen again in
that, and also
WWF.
if I saw some things about he got basically buried by like The Rock and shit from some of the promos that this was brutal.
Yeah, but
Melissa
I wonder
Lord
why
says
he left.
DX is better than the Wolf Pack, but not the OG NWO Hogan, Hall, and Nash. There you go.
Okay.
The
Man,
DX DX just had a different kind of attitude to him. That's
right,
all.
which and that's why it's hard to compare, right? Because you're comparing
Yeah.
kind of maybe not apples to oranges, but more so. I would agree they were more of a kind of the rebellious, like that's what the whole thing, like and you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you,
Yeah.
But the Wolfpack was, I think, if I can remember, because I remember I grew up. I mean, we're of the same era, same age, and I remember growing up.
Yeah,
watching the
Melissa
Wolfpack.
Lord knows what I'm talking about. Dwayne killed Billy Gunn's career in 1999 with that promo. She knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because I remember that's when DX was going after, because there was a feud between Triple H and Rock. That's when Rock started becoming the world champion.
I think so.
Because he had just left Nation of Domination.
Not
Which I
just.
had
He had
no
been
idea.
out of the nation for a while at that
Oh,
point.
had he?
This is where
I had
he had established himself as The Rock and all that crap, but and he'd already feuded with like Stone Cold and everything, but the promo that came out and he just buried him.
I need to go back and reference it because, like, I've recently, I don't know if I told you this, so I started watching SmackDown, but I'm watching it from the beginning, like the first episode, which was like April 27th, 1999, and I've watched everyone. Like, so I don't know if they have every single episode, but Peacock has them like lined up by season. So I started. I've now into the 2000s. So I've been kind of binge watching this, but I'm trying to reference what promo was it specifically where he killed Billy Gunn? Maybe you can send it to me because I'm
Yeah,
trying to remember.
I'll
Like,
look it up. I'll try and look and
we
find it.
need to just do we just need to do like a wrestling stream one because this is fun, man. Like I love reminiscing over like I was a WCW guy. I never really got into ECW. Like I know like the players that came
Yeah,
from
I
it, like
never got into
Heyman and
ECW myself. No,
because but
I
they were
didn't
like
even know about it until well after the fact. I never heard
no,
of
but
it.
I was like Rob Van Dam. Some of these guys were like loyal to
Oh
ECW,
yeah,
and this is where like
and they
the
weren't
fans
getting
were like,
paid.
no, but some of these, I mean, ECW was like the only wrestling where like they're like saying like like WWF, like there was some like Stephanie McMahon calling her a
Yeah.
the thing and or a hole and everything, but the ECW fans were like on a whole nother level. I remember Heyman was in the ring one time and was like basically saying, I think he said something along the lines of like "F you" to like to Vince or something, or
That
"This is
or
our house" and F
WCW.
yeah
I know
yeah
there was some rivalry between ECW and WCW, particularly because ECW almost acted like a pipeline for some talent to go
yeah
from them
talent.
to over to WWF at the time.
I mean, I
So
know today we got AEW and TNA, but it's just not the same from WCW, WWF, ECW. Maybe it's like, we're creatures of,
it's just
what we
not
grew up with, but
they've all got the
no,
thing is that they've all got their polish to them. They're all so like
it's more so a business now than it was. I think, I don't know, that might be subjective, but I think like, back then there was like
back
legit
then
feud.
they were trying to find out a new formula for things, and that was the interesting part because then they were experimenting, they were trying different stuff out, so that was the excitement of that era for sure. I
Yeah.
think that's why so many of us look upon it so fondly, and I fell out. I know I started falling out of wrestling, especially when Stone Cold started his whole what gimmick. I just couldn't stand it.
That's my favorite. Oh, I love that, man. I
and
used to
and
do that at
and
school. Like,
and
what?
then
What?
he switched over to being a Vince guy. I was just like, man, what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah. I for the longest time, I'll say this. I know we'll start ending it, but I used to think for the longest time Stone Cold was just a drunk wrestler. I didn't know that it was like
I
because he
mean,
would
you're
do Natty
not
Light,
wrong. You're not wrong.
right? But like just being drunk all the time. Like there was a
Right.
promo that he cut with The Rock where he's like, "I've had one margarita, two margaritas, four Bloody Marys, 10 beer." Like I was like, this guy should be dead. Like he's had more alcohol than I. My goodness, and he's I just thought that he was immune to alcohol. I don't know. He drank, right?
Right.
But yeah. So good times.
Yeah, that's right, Melissa Lord. ECW Philly fans would throw chairs into the ring. They were
Yeah.
insane.
I still to this day I got an argument at work because some of the kids are like, that's not it. It's real wrestling, and like those chairs are. He's like those table. Oh, it was a guy at work. He was like, those tables aren't real. I was like, he's like, you can't hit somebody like. If you hit somebody head with a 16-foot ladder, you're not getting up. I'm like, you're an idiot. Nobody's gonna hit you with a 16-foot ladder, and those chairs are real. They're just, they're hit in a very specific way, like a
Yeah.
concerto. Like you're still getting hit. You're just getting the back end of the hit versus, being smashed like an Oreo. But that's the thing. Like Chris Jericho, I promise. Last thing I'll say, and I'm yielding the floor. Chris Jericho was had an interview where Vince was saying like basically it's fake, and Jericho was like, well, that's BS coming from the owner of this company. Because it's like what we do isn't fake. It's like it's predetermined entertainment,
Yes.
and we're
Right.
entertainers. So like the shots we take are absolutely real. The
Oh
bumps and
yeah.
the chair shots and everything are real to an extent. And he was, I mean, I remember that he's like, I remember that.
I'm pretty sure all of Mick Foley's concussions can attribute to that
Yeah,
too. Especially when
the
The
piece,
Rock just went sick house on his skull for one of the
yeah,
on one of the
the
pay-per-views.
the piece of his ear that's missing. Yeah, that was ripped off by the ring rope.
Yeah.
That wasn't fake. Like, yeah, like if tell anybody
Tooth
if you're in
shoved up through his nose. That was from the
yeah, he didn't. Undertaker didn't just choke slam him through the Hell in the Cell, and he landed on a bunch of pillows. Like he landed on the ring.
Yep.
Like so, anybody like yeah, it's predetermined. and that's fine. But I still like these guys are like have been. I mean, some of these who have died because of like concussions and
Oh
so
yeah.
it's absolutely real. So I yield before we should do. Yeah, we should talk more about because this is I have a blast talking about WCW and
Mm.
Goldberg and yeah, you're next.
Yeah. Melissa Lord does point out the tables are gimmicked, so they break easy. But you're still getting put through a table one way or another. You're still making contact. But she's right. They do tend to be gimmicks, so they can easily break through. But you're still hitting floor after that. So
Or the cinder block that like Big Show threw
Oh.
on Undertaker's knee. Yeah, that's real. Maybe not.
Marvel Pure says before his recent days as the Pebble, and then said I was hardcore into ECW, flaming tables, thumbtacks, barbed wire was the
I
norm.
forgot the tables, man. The flaming tables, like
Yeah,
Devon got Devon,
yeah,
get the tables.
yeah.
I'm gonna start saying that to you at work.
He points out Sabu, RVD, New Jack, Cactus Jack, Terry Funk. Yeah. The Dudleys.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Still to this day,
the Dudleys.
Really quick, who's your favorite? Who's the greatest tag team of all time? And then we'll end.
Ooh.
Top three.
I don't know if I can top 3.
Yeah.
I'll no particular order. I'll say Steiners, Harlem Heat, and the Dudleys.
Crap, I didn't even think about the Steiner Bros. I was gonna.
I
say
was
Dudley's...
so bummed out when Scott betrayed his brother. That was just.
Yeah, but you had to know it was coming.
You could see the writing on the wall, but man, I'm like, but they're brothers. Why?
Yeah. So I say, and again, people will argue with me as far as are you based off championship or not? But I'll say, and this is again not in any order, but I'll say Dudley's, Hardy's, and I love the APA, the Allied Protection.
Oh, the Acolyte Protection Agents. That was great.
Where the guys like he like The Rock comes in and talks to them, and he's like use the damn door. And and then he
just
goes
a doorway. Everything else is opened up.
And he's like, and then he walks in the door. He's like, "Don't you knock?" And then he knocks. And he finally comes in. And he's like, and then he uses the door and like, "Hey, what's up, man? What do you need?" It's like, you didn't go through the door. And yeah, I love just the chemistry, man. Like John Bradshaw Layfield and Ron Simmons are best friends in life, right? Outside wrestling. And it's no different than Devon and Bubba, and even and the Hardy Boys, obviously they're brothers. But man, APA, and there's better ones. Like I didn't even think about the Steiner brothers. When you
those were just off the top of my head.
Well, I didn't even think about WCW. I was just talking about WWF. But yeah,
yeah. Melissa Lord says Road Warriors. That's a good one too. Steiners and Harlem Heat. Marvel Pure says Road Warriors, Heart Foundation, also good, and the Dudleys.
Yeah.
And
I was so mad.
Dan Blackray does bring up the Brothers of Destruction, Undertaker and Kane. Well, and how can we also forget the Rock and Sock connection?
Rocco and Sacco. Yeah. Yep. But I even put DX. That it's so hard, and you can't really just limit them to 3. It's obviously more, but it's. What was I going to say? The thing that upset about the Heart Foundation is and I got an argument at work about this. I was like, yeah, they were good, man, but you have to understand, from a technical, on their own, they were far better on their own, and I'm going to probably get heat for that. But I think Brett and Owen were much better on their own as technical wrestling competing, if that makes sense. As tag team, I'm sure they were good, but I remember them more from their singles career.
Right.
But Steiner Bros, Scott Steiner was Big Papa Pump, but also they were good as a tag team.
Oh, they were fun to watch. Fun as hell.
Oh yeah. So it's been fun. I've
I don't
enjoyed.
know. I
You know,
don't know
here we are
why there's
supposed to
such a
freaking.
stigma towards the tag team. Sometimes, like people are sometimes look down. It feels like sometimes they look down on the tag teams. But I'm like, why? I think that's some awesome stuff, especially when they got good teamwork, good chemistry, and stuff
Well,
working for
that's the
them. It's
thing.
like,
You can be predetermined, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, you need to know your partner, and that's
yeah,
why like I go back and I love like APA. You know, even DX, man. As much as you want to hate Belly Gun and Road Dogg, like
they
people
were
loved them,
good.
dude,
They
and
were
they were
great.
good.
Yeah.
You know, Brothers of Destruction, man. You always wanted to see. It was always shocking when they lost, if they lost, or if Undertaker, you're like, oh no, they can't. You can't lose. And Rocco and Sacco, and it was towards the end, before he turned to Cactus Jack, where I think Rock started kind of respecting Mankind a little bit. You
Yeah.
know, maybe not respect, but, where he would show up,
Right.
and
Right.
help and whatnot. But God, yeah, there's a lot. I didn't. Now I feel like an idiot, man, because
Well, this
the
is
Road
just going off
Warriors,
of just a
Harlem
quick
Heat.
top of your head, man. I mean, I
Right. But I'm like, but it's interesting perspective because like I didn't even think about them. Like Harlem Heat, like I have to
yeah,
look them up and
they were
see if
great too.
none of this it's just chemistry, man, and that's stuff you can't teach.
Nope.
Christian and Edge were good. I think Christian uh really came into his own once he left WWF or WWE when he went to AEW. I think he's doing some of his best work there. You
Really?
know, I do, man, because I think he wrote the tale because of Edge. I mean, you can't. You've got to understand, man. Edge just became more of the star, and I don't think it was necessarily Christian's fault. I think it was just Edge became more popular. Whether he became more popular, or he wanted it more, or he just was taken to the fans better. I think
Huh.
Christian. I don't know. That's just my perspective.
Hmm. No, hey,
So,
I can dig it.
but yeah, Rocco and Soccer, man. The two deadliest moves in all of WWE history is Mr. Sacco and the Cobra by Santino Marella. You do not come back from those two.
That's
The
right.
Manimal Claw and the Cobra. You're not coming back from.
Uh, Marvel purist, the Rockers, until that fatal day at the barber shop. I know the one you're talking
Yeah.
about. Got kicked right through a damn window. What a shame.
Every time the APA went to the bar, man, there's a fight, dude. Every
Every
time.
time. Every time. All right. Well, I think we'll be
Roll
concluding.
call, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be calling it here. Thank you, everybody, for showing up for tonight's show. It was mostly dominated by Superman talk and everything, but hey, we're just getting
There's
back
wrestling.
and some wrestling here at the end. That was fun. I enjoyed that for sure. But next week we should be coming back with some topics more than just one. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. Thank you all for showing up as always. Thank you, Marvel Purist. He says, good stream. Thank you, sir. Thank you for popping in, Brendan Tran, Dan Blackroyd. We also had, of course, Melissa Lord in at the start of the show. Thank you so much, as always, all of you for showing up and being and listening. Nerdy Neo, Black Pilled Meteor Advocate Timon, Duke Devil 95. Where the hell is Static been? Where is that motherfucker? The Briscoe 1234. Thank you for showing up. New York, Florida man as well. Oops. We had Jordan Star Wars as well. Captain Keeley, I did see pop in. I just didn't get to the chat quite like I usually do this week as I do other times, but it was kind of all over the place. I think that was. Oh, and Soul Assassin, thank you for dropping by. Much appreciated, brother. And yeah, thank you all so much as always. Oh. Timon does ask an important question. Stargate when? You know what, Timon? We do need to. We'll try and figure some things out, and we'll try and get back to it. We'll try. It's just the Hitman has of late had a cutoff time, so we'll try and get some Stargate back in. If you're hungering for it, all right. And Brandon Trent asked, did you talk about the Nolan the Odyssey trailer? No, we just talked nothing
gotta
but
do that next-
Superman.
yeah.
We talked
Yeah.
nothing but
There's a lot-
Superman, but we'll bring
We've
that
got
up
some
next
trailers
week.
next week.
Yeah.
We got some trailers next week.
And with that, we'll just say good night, goodbye, and we'll catch you next week. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Where's the ending? Where is it? Oh no. There we go. Okay. Oh.
What is thy bidding, my master?
Yeah, I should have known from the very beginning. From what you said. Yeah, when the mega powers were formed. Yeah, what you were out for from the very beginning. Yeah, you were after what was mine. I remember what you said.
You can destroy the Emperor. Join me. Together, we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
Yeah, that one was rough. Those words right there. Yeah, I got stuck, yeah, but I swallowed it anyway. Didn't like the taste, but I swallowed it anyway, yeah. But I remember the time when there was a conquistador out of the ring, the one that's so jealous that he can't stand it, yeah. Yeah, you came in there with your poses, yeah, but you made a big idiot out of yourself, yeah. And speaking of idiot things, what about that stupid idea? Did you forget that one? Think back. That right there sealed your fate. Yeah, it put the madness over the edge. But I'll tell you what felt even better, yeah, was in the dressing room, in the first aid room. Me being unselfish, yeah, said go ahead, do the thing, yeah. You won't steal my thunder, no. When you take a look at the madness's eyes, all you're gonna see is complete and utter rage!